We're in. We're back.
We back.
On our morning type show.
Yeah. I wanted to do it early. Get it in the sense early.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't doing anything today.
You never do anything.
No, I'm always doing something.
Dude, you're not even a coach.
Oh, okay.
Like, who coaches nowadays? It's like, just have them run sprints.
Have them run sprints. What does special team do today? Have them run sprints. Yeah.
But yeah, we got a lot of stuff, man.
How long was it though? Last one, like what? A week? Week and a half? A week, right?
It was a week. A little over a week. No. We didn't do last week. It was a week.
I think so.
Oh, fuck.
Nah, whatever.
Sometimes that happens.
Pretty sure it was a week. I'm pretty sure it was a week.
But we're back.
But we're back. Yeah.
Trying to be consistent as possible.
I should be okay at least this month, especially with the weekends now kind of slowing down with the club. I want to say taking a break, but more of like getting towards the end, and this whole month not much happening other than my high school now. Now the high school season's starting. And then there's a couple of club games left. I think February will January, February roughly. Nothing too crazy, but yeah, this month I should be a little bit more slower in the club sense, but still busy with the high school now. So that'll be fun.
It's looking decent.
Oh, we're looking great. I'm not saying I'm not. I don't want to be biased or anything, but every year I'm always saying we're great or we're looking good.
Right.
But last year's group seemed good, great, but at times dysfunctional with the players that we have, or that we had. And then this year it just seems more in tune with more themselves, like understanding each other better and playing for each other more as opposed to playing just for themselves. So there's good, there's the bad, like with anybody else. It's just now, going out there and executing and just kind of seeing what we have and really performing and doing well as a group, because we had a scrimmage about a few days ago, and I was a bit surprised on a few kids that came in and played and putting them in positions that either they have played or there was somebody already there that I know is my starter, my go-to guy for that position. And seeing them play in that scrimmage really made it more difficult for me now to kind of not understand, but to see more or less who can I put where, and just making it. It's a good problem to have, is what they say. Because now I got more options, more variety in terms of moving guys around. Whereas before, it's like, okay, if this guy goes down, it's like that could be like a massive hole in our game. But which is kind of one of the things which happened last year. We were missing a couple guys for the playoff game, due to them going to their club teams, which kind of changed the dynamic of the team. Whereas what I just saw this past last scrimmage, whatever, we were missing those same guys because they went off with their clubs for the weekend, and I plugged in guys there that do play that position, but probably normally wouldn't be as reliable as I thought. But after seeing what I saw, it's like, well, which one do I pick for this game? It's like I can kind of rotate them in the sense to be like, okay, we're playing this group. You can probably rest a little bit. I'll put this guy in for you, and he'll probably get a little more time, but he'll still give me that reassurance to believe that, okay, we're gonna be fine even if you weren't here or if you get hurt. This is the guy that can really still step in and still play that role. So there's a lot of kids like that this year, and that's why I'm saying it's like I feel a little bit more assured to say that I got a better rotation than I had in some years past. So we'll see how it goes, I guess, throughout the year.
Sounds cool.
Oh yeah, it's I'm excited. I mean, it's still a young group. I mean, I think I only have maybe 3 seniors, maybe 4 seniors starting.
Oh wow.
Yeah, out of the group. Yeah, because the majority of my goalkeeper is a sophomore, my back lines are juniors. I think with the exception of 2 of them are seniors, but one of them will probably be a starter or maybe like a rotational. The other one's more rotational than a starter. And then in the middle, yeah, the 2 of them, I want to say, are juniors. One of the starters will probably be a senior. And then up top, I think I have 2 seniors. So in reality, I probably have 3 seniors starting. Like legitimately 3 seniors, like secured starting. And the juniors are around them that are really, really talented. Very, very talented. Good. So it's still a young group. It's a well-rounded group, and it's more of like I feel a little bit more comfortable in the sense of playing the formation and the positioning and stuff like that. But even the guys that I have, they're reliable in other positions as well. In case one guy goes down, I can move a guy there. And if I move the guy from wherever he was, there's somebody there that can cover that spot and still be able to function as the plan goes or the game plan, as a team and things like that. So that's where I feel a little bit more comfortable and positive with, is that, if someone goes down or someone gets hurt, someone can't play the next game, I have somebody there reliable enough to play that role just as good as the guy that was there. Or it's just hard sometimes, which is really difficult to have, because it's like if you lose that one player, it's like you got to change your whole formation. You got to change your whole dynamic in the sense, because that one guy was kind of like that. Not saying like the main guy we have to play with, but it just kind of molds that formation out to the sense of how you want to play. So, in the sense, like I said, it was like I have players in that realm that it's like, okay, if this guy goes down, this guy's more likely to cover and be able to help and do exactly what I wanted, if not maybe even better. So,
is it me, or does it feel like you never know who is how do I put it? Who's consistent school wise? Like when I used to play sports, or when I was in high school, like it was like, oh, South Hills is always the shit, or Charter Oak's always good at that. But I feel nowadays it's like, or just in soccer, the boys sport, since I've been around you and your team, I feel like there's only been one school like that, but they're not in the league anymore, which is Baldwin Park. But all the schools that are in your league, I feel like it's anyone goes, right? Like anyone, like you hear the name Charter Oak back then, like I said, oh, that's a big, like the school, oh shit, they're good at everything now. Like now it's like, no, we can beat anybody in our league, and they can also do that to us.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of how each year changes, right? Because like each year feels like it's different, right?
Yeah. Because even with the guys that you get back, like you see them and you think, okay, they're good, and then let's see how they do in the year. And some of them stay the same, or some of them make a massive improvement, and then some it's like they kind of drifted down a little bit. So yeah, every year it is something. The consistency is pretty tough, especially I think with soccer in general, because I think in other sports, a lot of other sports don't tend they all have like a club team and whatever, but I don't think it's as highly influenced as it is with soccer, because a lot of these guys run into that conversation, or run into that situation where it's like, do I play high school, or do I stay with my club? And a lot of club coaches, a lot of club organizations say, oh no, don't even waste your time with high school, don't even this, don't even that, da, da, da. So a lot of kids get into the get like pressured. It's like, oh, do I play? Do I not? Like, what do I do? So a lot of that issue comes up, and you have a team. Let's just say that one year where a lot of them were club kids. They were young. They were they were talented. And then the next year, whatever team that they're with has gotten better, and now their coaches are telling them, no, don't go play this year. So it's like you lose out like maybe like 2 or 3 kids sometimes, depending on the schools, depending on the clubs. It's just a lot of it just depends on the area. So the only reason why I believe Baldwin Park isn't really like that is because their general area alone, they play, but they don't have an organized club in the sense for them to go play high level. So
like that is their club to attract.
that's kind of their sense, their club to attract in the sense. But that's why they always get so many kids. I mean, I talk to that guy almost every other day, and I always ask him, like, how many kids you get trying out? He gets over like 100 kids to try out, over 100 kids, and it's like, geez, I get I struggle to get like maybe 50, 60 kids. And he gets 100 that are full line. If you ever go back and look at all the team photos, and he has like 30 almost some players on his varsity team alone.
Yeah, I remember.
So it's like he can have a freshman team, but he chooses not to, because it's like he told me he gets 100 kids, but out of those 100, like 60 of them can really play. The rest, it's like they show up just to show up because they play Sunday league with their parents and whatever, and they want to just try it.
Yeah.
So, but I get 50, and 15, 20 of them aren't like that. Like they're just kids that just want to come out and try. And it's like sometimes we have to either work with them or try to develop them. So I try to get a good staff on my side, so that way at least those kids that are coming out, they're gonna come out, they're gonna try, they're gonna make effort. So I'd rather have those kids that are gonna come out every single day and want to get better and develop them, and hopefully get better throughout their time there, and eventually move up in the ranks. To go up to varsity and stuff like that if they make a JV team. So it is tough. It's not easy. I mean, every year it's always something different. Every year it's either I get everyone back or I lose one or I lose two. It just depends on their current situations and things like that. So that's generally how it is, at least for my school. But I've noticed it with schools around me too, that, you know, there's years where they are really, really good, and then it's like, you know, depending on how the program assesses them and how they value them, it's like, you know, other programs, they just, you know, they tend to just have a teacher be the coach, and a lot of kids see that, and some kids are just like, I don't even want to go out there. I don't even want to try. Like,
I felt that when I played.
You know, I'm tired. Like they had a good year, and then the coach that was there leaves, and it's like, well, then if you're leaving, I don't even want to play next year then, because I don't even know who's coming in, and if it's nobody that's gonna be good, it's like, I'm not gonna waste my time.
Right.
So it's tough. It's not easy. That's why I try to go in there with the mentality of like the club aspect and try to bring that culture and tell those kids that, because a lot of times kids don't know. They hear it from other friends, or they hear it from their club teammates. Like, oh, my club team sucks because, you know, my math teacher's the coach. And so the kid doesn't even, that probably's at my school, may not even come out and try it because he thinks it's all like that because he's just new. So there's been a couple kids like that. And, you know, I talk to them and this and that. But a lot of their situations end up being that they're actually on like an academy team or a high-level team type deal. So it's like, okay, I get it, but if you're really traveling and doing all those things where you really can't play in the season, then by all means, go do that. That's fine. I understand that. You know, I would like for you to be here, but, you know, if you can't be here, you can't be here. I'd rather have the kid that can be here, that doesn't have the opportunity that you have, you know, and possibly me help him and develop him to a point where he can go further his career, not just in the sport, but maybe go off to college. Because the other thing too with this sport, especially in high school, is that for some of these kids, like, this is all they have. They got nothing else, and they got nothing else to look forward to, and they just go to school, and then when they're done, a lot of them just go get a full-time job and don't even want to attempt to go to college. So what I always tell my guys, it's like, you know, I bring this outlet, bring this culture to prepare you not only just for, you know, yourselves, but for the real world. So when you go out there, you're prepared to, you know, take on life and, you know, the aspect of what an adult is and stuff like that. So a lot of them have gone on to do tremendous things. You know, I think I got one guy right now that's he just got hired maybe like a couple months ago to be the NASA security, and he was in the Marines for maybe 5 years already.
Ooh.
Adrian Vera.
Adrian from back
from
5 years ago?
No, 9 years, like my first year.
Oh, the quick one, the
fast forward
striker.
Yeah.
He's gonna be security at NASA.
Yeah, it's awesome.
He's gonna be like Jeff Bezos. You can walk in.
Yeah, like
Elon Musk.
But
good.
it's NASA. I was just like, jeez.
Well,
I don't think that's a.
He went to the military.
Yeah, he went to the military, so I don't think that's not a. Oh, well, I feel like applying for security here. Like, I don't think you can do that.
Top fly in the world.
I don't think you can do that. So
some background check.
It's great to hear that. And then
cool.
My current assistant coaches just graduated from Cal Poly. They're going to try to be. One of them wants to be a substitute teacher. The other one wants to do history. I have a couple of other kids that are in the military. One, I think, is just got stationed out, and I want to say, I just saw it. He just got stationed out. I think somewhere I think he's in Texas, but he's now one of the sergeants or generals up there. That he's leading a group of young men to be, you know, part of the military in the Marines. So I have a lot of kids like that, you know, that tend to further on something. But I'm glad that they're pursuing something and not just, you know, sitting at home and just doing nothing. I mean, I'd rather they be working, doing something, and pushing themselves for that rather than just being stuck at home. So it's good. Like I said, like that's generally my goal for a lot of these kids, and a lot of them to try to just at least get pushed out and go forward and continue on in that path of wanting to be successful, basically.
And we got at least a few continuing soccer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got quite a few.
Right.
Throughout the years, I've had quite a few. So it's. They obviously haven't got anything further than what they can possibly do in that, but at least they still attempted and still go for it, and they still continue.
Well, I mean, from knowing our history of the school that we played for.
Oh yeah.
You know,
oh yeah.
Like, we have one. I guess we can consider one going D1.
Yeah.
And then there's another few that are continuing to go other levels after community college.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's quite a few.
So
it's
getting there.
Yeah, it's getting there.
Something. I mean,
it's getting there. It was a process.
But at the end of the day, it's on them as well.
Oh yeah.
You know, like you said, like some would continue this and some would continue doing that.
Yeah.
But cool. I'm excited for the season.
Oh yeah, I am too.
I hope it's a good one.
A lot of pressure this year.
Why?
Everybody's winning CIF.
Oh yeah, that's right. Your football team, which can't remember the last time we won. I think it was like in the 80s.
They said in the 80s, I believe. Somewhere, I think it was
When
late
one
80s.
of my teachers was playing, I think it was.
It was like the late 80s from what I heard.
Okay, I think it was like 87 if I can remember.
Roughly late 80s. We'll just say late 80s, I think.
But then to like hear, I literally like I was following my friend on Instagram and she has a daughter that's a cheerleader, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like I didn't know like the team was decent because I had never really asked you too much.
Yeah.
And then when they're like, I was like, saw one of her posts, oh, we're going to the CIF final. I was like, wait, what? I was like, what? That happened? I was like, we're good? I was like, when did this happen? And that's when I started asking you, like, hey, where they going? They're like, oh yeah, they won league, right? They won league too.
I think they won the league.
I was checked the record. It was like 2-1. I was like, oh, lucky bastard. We had a whole like 8-season
They've changed the dynamic.
Right? And I'm like, all right, but then I was like, all right, cool, they won. I was like, good for them. That's dope. Like, however long it has been, but that's cool. Like, and it was at home.
Yeah.
That's cool for them.
It was home.
You know, but okay. And then what you said, tennis
Tennis
won before soccer.
Tennis girls won a CIF before soccer. Which I'm really happy for because the coach I know really, really well.
He's cool.
He was my history teacher. Yeah. I've known him for so long. And I would train obviously next to him because, you know, during the trial we'd be on the grass, the tennis court's right there. So I constantly talk to him, and then we you know, he's into soccer too, so
that's cool.
We've talked back and forth, and
hope he watches the podcast.
And the last couple of years he took over the tennis program for I think maybe about 4 years now, maybe. And ever since then it's taken off. He's done tremendous things there with that program, and it's shown, and I'm happy for him. I'm really excited that they got to get to that point because every time, you know, their matches are out there, I always talk to him. I ask him. I mean, I don't know tennis much, but I kind of got into it a little bit more, just kind of knowing all the rules and how they do it. And it's like,
love.
Yeah, it was interesting. So I was like, oh, it gets intense. So when I was watching them, and it was like, I was happy for them, and they heard they got to the final, I was like, man, you guys better win it all. And sure enough, they did. And I think they said it came down kind of to the last match of singles or whatever, that the matchup that was at the end, that it came down to. And usually they said it can be won like in the first round between games and stuff like that, I guess the way it's played. And they said no, it went kind of almost down to the wire, and they ended up winning it. And I was just like, wow, that's awesome. So,
the pressure's on, man.
So far, 2 sports out of the fall, I guess you could say.
Football and tennis.
And our cross country team, one of my players, I think, ended up second in league, and I think he ended up like top.
If you ain't first, you're last.
He ended up top something.
No, if you ain't first, you're last. I live my whole life about that, man. What? You could be first, you could be second, you could be third.
Hell, you could be fourth.
Hey, you could be fifth.
But yeah, he did. One of my players, he did pretty well in cross country this year as well, and he's a stud out there, and he did pretty remarkable things, especially in cross country, which hasn't been really done in years past with cross country, especially for that program. So it's getting there. The programs are really pushing it, and the pressure's on, you know, now. So I mean, not that I've never had pressure, but it's every year I always feel that pressure to be successful than the years before. So with this one, obviously, with the group that I have, I obviously want to get further than what we normally do, and actually really push for that league title finally. So we'll see how it goes.
League's
First one. League's the first one. That's the first goal I want to accomplish with my time there, and I've been very close many times.
You have.
Many times. It's always a game or, you know, a goal or something. It's very, very close. So
well, it takes everyone.
Yeah.
It takes everyone.
Yeah, it does.
You know what I mean? So let's get them ready.
Yeah,
let's get them ready, and good luck for the season. Right?
Yeah.
All right. I mean, it's high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we have a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
A lot. There's some emotions in there for me. There's some depression coming up. There's what the hell's going on here? Then there's like, holy shit, there's a lot of good documentaries coming out that I'm enjoying.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
For real.
Oh, I don't even know where to start. Which one can I get out of the way first?
What happened last? Well, the Euros happened last week, didn't it?
No, the Euros. Champions was this past week.
The week before. We already did the Euros? Did we go over the Euros?
Yeah, that was the last.
Did we go over the results of the Euros?
No, we didn't go over the results. We were literally doing the predictions. It was like literally the day before. So
okay,
yeah,
so
it was
now
a week and a half.
Now it's everybody's kind of set who's going in almost. It's just now for the Euro side, which is like Italy.
Let's get
Portugal.
to the fucking Euros.
So we could do that out of the way.
So I'm fucking depressed. I'm in like panic mode
I'm not.
Hold on. I'm in like anxiety mode. And I can't believe that I'm feeling this way because of the way Portugal have played. The last episode we talked about, I was saying we got this. Serbia, we should win or even tie if we just lollygag. The fucking team lollygagged. The fucking team played the way they played. I don't understand how this coach is still the coach. I do agree with the other pundits. They deserve to lose that game because the way I saw the game play out. I didn't get to watch the whole game, but I saw the highlights, and it just still feels like the coach is literally just thinking he can still do what he's done since 2016.
Yeah.
And into my eyes, like, I'm just like, your team has evolved from that. Your team has gotten better from that. And your team has gotten more attacking players from that.
Yeah.
That I think either you have to tell yourself, I can't do what I did before because it's not working with these type of players, or you just, look back and say like I'm the issue because in some sense, as I'm getting, like I said, every time I'm learning new things all the time, being around you and coaches and watching docs.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, if you don't have the players that you like for your type of system, it's hard to force them into that if they're not that type of player.
Oh, yeah.
Like if you can't discover them saying like, oh shit, like we didn't know he could do that. Now we can put him in this position.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look that way. This coach is playing very conservative. He's playing very like just laid back. Let's just get the goal and just try to control the game, which it's not really happening for the most part because the other teams are figuring them out. But with that being said, I'm just more. I just know that Cristiano can only do so much at this point.
Yeah,
and we've seen it.
Yeah,
that I'm not saying I'm not full 100 confident. It's just like, fuck, it's Italy. So basically, if everyone knows, Italy and Portugal draw in the same little playoff.
Not against each other.
Not against each other right away.
Just in the
first
playoff.
Semi.
Yeah.
And for the most part, which I think it will be, it'll be Italy and Portugal in that.
I don't know, man. You gotta get through Turkey first.
And Turkey's decent, but again, the way Portugal has been playing, they lost to Serbia, they tied to Ireland, they make up these mistakes in teams where I'm just like, what? And then they out of nowhere, it's like Ronaldo comes in with winning goals again. So it's like, how much can he keep doing that? Which I think he keep doing that, but it also takes a team that's collective to get to that. Meaning, like, I feel when I watch them, I feel like I said earlier, the coach is like, all right, let's just hold on to this, and we'll play the last 20.
Yeah.
It's like, no, dude, like, that's how it's feeling. So I'm like, dude, you can't, like, keep doing that.
Yeah.
And it gets me frustrated more and more because I invested in, obviously, this team to watch.
Yeah.
To want him to do good because of Cristiano. So it's like the feeling I got was like to not see this guy in the World Cup. It just really hit. It's like slowly, like, really hitting me. Where I'm like, I don't even want to think about it because I don't want it to happen. It's like, fuck. And then you think about, like, well, Italy hasn't been in the World Cup since I don't know how long, right? They went in the last one. No, so they're trying to get to this one after winning a fucking Euro Cup.
Yeah.
How surprising this part is, too.
Yeah.
So now it's like, well, fuck. Like, everything's more on their favor because they probably had a horrible game against Spain in the Nations League. They didn't do good.
Yeah.
Like, they felt like everything was, like, just falling apart. So to that, it's like, I'm just literally just anxious and have this anxiety of like, I really cannot not see Ronaldo in the World Cup. Like, as much as the real pundits, I know I'm biased because of Cristiano, but like most of those people that I've watched in here, it's like they really don't care. They just think it's a great thing for the sport because the way this playoff system is, which I agree.
Yeah. How
they did it, but at the same time, it's like, you cannot not have Ronaldo in this World Cup if it could be his last one. And no one really cares. But, like, that's how most fans feel. But, like, in the sense of, like, I'm thinking now, like, okay, for him to get another chance to be the great and possibly go far and maybe, but the way the team's looking, I don't know. That was one aspect. And then the other aspect is like, well, now I'm thinking dollars. Now I'm thinking eyeballs. He's the most followed person in the world. And I'm pretty sure if he's not in there, it's like a huge hit of like a massive viewing that probably would not care to watch the World Cup. And I'm not saying it's gonna be big, but it's gonna be a good amount.
Yeah.
Where it's like, well, if he's not in there, why the fuck are we watching? He has fans. As much as people say like no one's bigger than a club or no one's like, we're living in a day and age where like you know you are at some point.
Oh, yeah.
Like you know this. Like in reality, in person, sometimes they'd be like, no, we're gonna cut you off. But like when the majority is backing you up and saying, hey, we're gonna make a movement so you can walk in here, so you can get into the stadium. We're gonna make a movement for you. You get what I'm saying? Like you get like the impact of the social media.
I think it's been like that though. Even aside from just him, not as I wouldn't say as big as how him and I guess you could say Messi are.
Well, like how the
because
US
in other sports it is in the sense like that too. Because I'll be honest with you, I stopped watching basketball after Kobe stopped like playing. Like
right, but no, but
I guess
right.
I know the only hold on. Like I said, the difference is obviously the following in the sense for Kobe was, whatever following he had and all that. And the following for Ronaldo is obviously more globally in the set of like, there's just so much more to it. But I guess you could, the way I'm just saying in terms of comparing is like, yeah, like for me, it was like, okay, I only watched Kobe with basketball. And it was like, that's it. Now you ask me anything about basketball, I'm like, I don't know. I don't care. When he was around, it's like, oh man, I knew this guy, I knew that. Like I kind of knew the whole realm of that sport.
I agree with that, but the aspect and the context of that was more that he was more of getting ready to retire. Yeah. So it was getting to like understand, like it was pushing us there, and I don't want to feel that this is pushing us there with Cristiano, because Cristiano can play till he's 41, like he says. Like I can see that dude playing. Like
they don't go to the next World Cup.
Well, that's what they're saying. Like, but you know what else they're saying? They're like, what else I was reading? Like, I think right now Ronaldo doesn't like the Americans, and there's reasons why. Right? The whole thing that he was going through, So I'm pretty sure he doesn't want to go to America. So like that's why they're like, when he's 41, he could, but it's like,
did they get it though?
Get what?
Did we get the next World Cup? They're still bidding for it, aren't they?
No, we have it. U.S., Mexico, and Canada have it. Most
they
of
do,
the games,
right?
Most of the games, I think it's 80% of the games are going to be in America.
I thought they were still bidding for it. I just keep seeing things and it made it seem like they're still bidding for it. Like, oh, we
no. We got it.
What they're probably bidding for is the stadiums.
That they were getting ready for, but again, 80% of it is the stadiums.
I know, but they still haven't. Have they confirmed the stadiums?
For the most part.
And I think that's what they're still doing.
For the most part, I think they're doing that with the other countries like Canada and.
Because I saw they're trying to bid, I guess, to use the Coliseum as one of the stadiums, and it's not on there to be used.
I don't think so because they're there. I know the Bank California, the LAFC stadium got it.
Yeah, I just saw something along those lines.
I think kind of dumb in some sense because the LA Coliseum holds more.
Well, yeah.
I know the LAFC is like a new stadium.
Like
you're talking about a World Cup.
Yeah,
you're not talking about a MLS tournament.
Yeah, I think you're gonna fill it regardless.
Yeah, you're gonna fill it regardless, but you want more people to watch. If you
no, that's what I'm saying. Because I think,
but you're right. I think
I understand why they're probably. How do I put this? Not assure themselves to put that stadium in because it's like how much do they hold? Like 80,000? No. The Coliseum. How much?
78.
78? Oh, we'll just say 80.
Yeah, I just checked the other day because I'm going to a Kanye concert.
So, anyways, they hold that many. So I'm assuming they're thinking like in the years past, they've had stadiums that hold whatever, and those don't even fill up. But I think here, because of the way the culture is in terms of how do I put this, spotlighting an event. People want to be at it. People want to go at it, regardless if they know the sport or not. They want to just go, and people will show up and people will go. So I think that's kind of probably why they think that it's not going to happen, because in other countries, it's a normality. It's like, the World Cup's here. Okay, cool. Like for some, countries, but I think here is just because it becomes like a massive spotlight event. Like they try to like make it more amazing than what it really is in a sense. I think I finished what I was saying about that.
Oh, but I did want to finish.
I sidetracked a little. Sorry.
It's fine. So yeah, you were right about the stadiums. I think they're bidding for that. Yeah. But going towards the thing, I'm just nervous. I don't want Cristiano not to be in there. I'm sure a majority of them agree, but at the same time, Italy hasn't been in since the 2000 ones.
Well, I mean, I know that. So it's Italy and Macedonia.
So let's just go over the playoff. So
the reality is the only more important ones is Italy and
I just want to let's just go to it where we think who's going to keep going. Like already, obviously my answer on one of them. So in I guess the Path A, you got Scotland, Ukraine. The winner of that would play Wales and Austria. What do you got?
Say that
Scotland versus Ukraine.
again.
The winners out of that would play against Wales or Austria, and one of those would go. So it's only 3 go.
Oh man, Scotland and Ukraine. Wow, they both kind of actually been decent.
Shitty, bro.
No. They're shitty in the sense of like I guess compared to the other teams, but they've actually been pretty decent getting to the where they're getting to. Like Ukraine, it was like they've won a couple games.
Yeah, they beat Portugal one.
So that's what I'm saying. It's like ooh, and in Scotland too, like they've kind of actually have some decent players and well enough there to be
right
competitive. It's a good matchup. I guess you could say. Jeez, I guess is Shevchenko still the coach?
Yes.
Okay, Ukraine.
Yes, I'm thinking Ukraine because
I'll say Ukraine.
as much as Wales has Bale and Ramsey, they don't even fucking play anymore.
Wales.
And, this is not until March. This is not until March. But again, when Bale plays, it's like
I say
Bale
Ukraine
just fell off.
I think Ukraine will win that.
I'm taking Ukraine as well
in that entire group there.
So then the next one is Russia versus Poland. The winners out of that would play Sweden, Czech Republic, and I think this is probably one of the hardest ones as well because they're all pretty decent.
Ooh.
They're all teams that have beaten teams in Euro Cups and even just qualifying games.
Damn, that's a tough one.
Because Russia was decent in the last World Cup.
They went far.
They went pretty far. You have Poland with Lewandowski. That's not always good, but you have Lewandowski. And then you have Sweden with Zlatan still playing. Do you want to see Zlatan's last final World Cup? Because he's back.
Yeah, no, I don't
so
think,
he's trying to help.
And I think people still want to see Lewandowski in the World Cup also.
That, and then Czech Republic's pretty decent. I mean, they've won some games against big teams.
I would like Poland, but I feel like Poland just isn't consistent enough. Russia, you never know, man. You never know with Russia, honestly, because they surprised in the last one.
Yeah, and lately after that, it's just been up and down.
And Sweden, Zlatan, man, that guy's a whole nother lion.
There's a reason why he came back to help.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure there's a reason. That's the reason why they're even there.
Right?
Damn, that's a tough one. Czech Republic, I don't know too much about, but I know they've been decent in years past. Oh man, I think I'm gonna put my money on Sweden.
I was gonna say the same thing. I'm taking Sweden.
I think I'm gonna take Sweden on this one. I feel bad for Poland. I feel bad for Lewandowski because he's getting to that age now where it's like, yeah, this might be his last one too.
Yeah, but I think Lewandowski has more of an upper up because of Bayern. I think that just overrides everything.
Yeah,
it's one of those things like you know how we talk about Messi and Ronaldo with both countries. I mean, because they've been able to do it.
Yeah,
like when you see a player like Lewandowski, it's like.
I think the other thing too is that because of their countries that they are in, their countries before them, that country before them was capable of going to the World Cup consistently. You know, like Portugal was there before. Not as consistent, but they were there. But now it's like, okay, well, your team was capable of being here even before you were even here.
Yeah, no, you're
with Poland, I get it. It's like, you guys get here like every other 3 World Cups or something.
Right. So we're going with Sweden on that one.
I would go with Sweden.
So am I. So far you got both Sweden and who'd you say Ukraine?
Yeah.
And then the last one, the one that has me just splitting hairs, taking off.
As much as I would.
So let me go.
Oh yeah, go through.
And then you can. So you got Italy versus North Macedonia. And then you got Portugal versus Turkey. So the winners out of those two would play each other. Obviously, the obvious is what everyone thinks.
Macedonia, man.
Macedonia has won some type of games. They were in the Euro Cup and they won a game.
They're there. The thing is, they're there.
But the way I see this, let me go since I'm already talking.
Yeah, go for it.
The way I see Italy in the last game, I don't know if you saw the last game against Spain. Spain was all fucking over them. The nations.
Yeah. I saw it.
Not the Euro Cup. The Euro Cup was even good. Did they play each other? They played each other in the Euro Cup. So those 2 games, they went to penalties, right?
The Euros Cup, they went to penalties.
So Italy went twice in penalties, the semis and the final.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's my thing. Spain is a great team. I think Spain has the ability to go pretty far in the World Cup. We'll get to that. But the way I see Italy play these 2 games is reminding me, those last games is reminding me of the Portugal of 2016 when they were just tying everybody and went to penalties. Italy's reminding me of that Portugal of 2016.
Yeah.
From that point. Because before that point of those games, they were doing great. They were winning. They were scoring goals.
Yeah.
They were winning the game.
Yeah.
So since those games, I'm not saying it looks like a disaster or it looks like a downfall. I'm saying they might have that championship hangover. But again, this is not until March.
Yeah.
And again, it's not until March, and they only get literally. I just was hurt. They only get 3 days of training for these games.
Yeah.
So with my thing of that, I think they should beat North Macedonia.
Yeah, they should.
I'm not saying I wouldn't be surprised if they don't.
Yeah.
It depends. Again, March is a long ass time for anybody to keep informed and not have injuries.
Yeah.
But as I was watching the other documentary of when they won this last Euro Cup, there are some old guys there, which is their 2 main dudes, Chiellini and Bonucci.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If one of those 2, if not those 2 fall, like, shit's done, I think, for their defense and the way they play their game.
Well, I mean, I think they'll still get past at least the first game.
Right. So what I'm looking at is that Italy should pass that game, and I'm going to keep it with that. It has to be like a miracle from North Macedonia to do anything. But again, the miracle has to be more like, holy shit, this guy's falling and that guy's falling. You got like 4 or 5 guys.
It has to be Spain before going into the Euros when half the team got COVID and they played like a scrimmage game before with the under 19 team. Literally, that has to happen.
So then, okay, so yeah.
It's like, oh, we got to take our U17 to go play North Macedonia.
Yeah. And so I'm sure they'll go there. And then we got Portugal versus Turkey. Turkey I thought at one point they were going to do something in the Euros.
Yeah, I remember you said that.
I was like, they completely just shit down their leg. Because they beat 2 good teams in the qualifying for the Euros. But anyways, Portugal should win in their fashion that game, which I think they're going to put all their energy in the final. Now, coming to the final, let's say it's going to be Italy and Portugal. The only way I think Portugal can win this game if they play this game like they never played before, meaning like they're putting all they're fucking telling every single top player that they have to like, hey, this is the last game you've ever played in Portugal.
Yeah,
and you better make it a good one against an Italy that's probably still hungover and trying to get back in that groove of not losing any game.
Yeah,
which is to me it feels like they're starting over. So. Yeah. In my sense, as much as everyone's looking at Italy for the favorite and Portugal the underdog, again, just because I'm biased to Cristiano, I want to feel that I am feeling that Portugal can pull it off in an ugly manner.
Yeah.
It might be penalties, not might be penalties. It might be by a penalty from Cristiano. Like an ugly manner where like, oh my God, where I'm like sweating throughout the whole game. I'm shitting bricks. I'm like, like up and down, like, it's going to be that game for me.
Yeah.
As for Italy, again, I just think that most of their players, if they don't get healthy or this coach doesn't have a good rotation for that game, I just don't know how that back line is going to stay healthy because they're pretty old.
Yeah.
They're pretty old. Again, the only thing is that I'm always just tripping out that Portugal has a lot of great young players that I'm just like, how are you guys not fucking killing teams?
Yeah.
Like,
trying to see where Turkey ended up. Oh, yeah, that's a matchup.
Which one
for Turkey?
So Portugal has the hardest kind of route in some way.
They have I would say the hardest team to face. I want to say
for being Portugal.
Yeah, for being Portugal because I didn't expect. I thought Turkey because I'm looking at some of these teams as I'm like scrolling and looking. Like Macedonia got in by a point basically over Romania. Turkey got in over a few points over Norway. So
this is where I wish the old FIFA organizers, old presidents were still here, so they can just be like, "Hey, we're gonna pay Cristiano to let him win. So here's like $100 grand for your new stadium.
Well, now
let Ronaldo in.
Now all those guys got prosecuted and now possibly facing jail time. Yeah,
Jesus, man, God, you guys couldn't like hold it off till now until Cristiano and Messi were done. Like, make that the final.
And but Italy missed out pretty badly. They had a really weak group,
right?
I'm looking at the group like before they got into this, and
they did well.
And Italy, I think, Ukraine had a tough one. They got in by a point. Wales got in by a point. I don't know how Czech Republic ended up in. Is Czech Republic really?
Yeah, they told you they're playing against Sweden.
How?
It also, I think, we didn't mention this. It also,
I heard
the Nations League pot.
Interesting. Interesting.
There's like 2 or 3 teams that from the Nations League pot. Remember how they have the tiers now?
Yeah.
That's the reason why they're able to do this playoff now.
Oh.
They're taking those teams that don't make it to
'Cause-
the pot for the Nations League,
Yeah.
and they take those lower tiers to be able to play this.
Because Czech Republic, out of all of them, is the only one that didn't get top 2 in their group.
Right, and I think there was one of them that did. I think they did well. I think they did well in their tier for Nations League.
Maybe that's what it is.
Because that was a whole.
Because I'm like,
point for
look at
Nations
like
League.
Israel had more points than them. Norway had more points than them. Like,
Yeah,
there's teams on here that should have been at more
I know.
possible
I know they were.
Oh shit!
mentioning-
Poland had a tough group.
Yeah,
I didn't realize Poland had a tough group.
they had Belgium, no?
No, Poland had England, Albania, and Hungary, but all of them they beat out. Albania and Hungary missed out by like 2 points behind Poland.
Yeah.
So
wait.
yeah.
Who are you
Oh,
picking?
sorry.
Now that you're doing your little
Not-
mini research,
Well,
who are you picking
not
for this
from the
game?
mini research and what you've told me. I'm like, Jesus. I mean, it sounds like it's Italy's to lose in the sense, but it can all go well for Portugal.
Yeah, I feel that.
Do you get what I mean? Like, Portugal, I mean, don't get me wrong. Turkey, looking at them like, I didn't expect that. I thought they got in just like kind of just, you know how like there's some groups like the team just superior than the second place team. Like there's no chance. They got in they passed 2 points by Norway and they were just 2 points under Holland. So they had a possibility of taking the group and actually getting in securely.
Same with Portugal. That last minute goal.
Yeah. So I mean,
Portugal had a tie
I'm talking
or win.
I'm talking about Turkey, which is in the sense not having star-studded athletes on that team that
Which
are
I
like.
get, but it's
you
like
know?
the other version of that with Portugal. Portugal had the game in their hand. with
Oh
the
no!
tie.
I'm not like trying to bash Portugal in any way, but I'm just saying in the sense of like how Turkey is,
Yeah.
and what they obviously were capable of doing just to get to that point. Like
Right,
just
right.
looking at the group, Portugal's really got to play the game of their lives those last 2 games.
Is that what I said?
And yeah, because I mean, in reality, you know what? I'm gonna favor Portugal.
I want to know your reasons.
My reasoning is because Turkey is good. I'm looking at it. They are good. If they could get past Turkey, I think that's going to be a stronger group to go against in the term of what's led up to where they're at now. Because I'm looking at Italy, and I did not realize Italy went 4-4 in their group,
Which is weird, right?
which is not a strong group. Switzerland. I mean, don't get me wrong. They didn't lose a game. Switzerland didn't lose a game, and neither did Italy. But they had North Ireland, Bulgaria, and Lithuania. They had one less team to play, if you really think about it.
And they don't play a team like Portugal. But then again, Portugal's Portugal. If that makes
Because
sense.
they had 5 in their group, which is still weird too. Because they had five teams in their group, so they played 8 games, and I think Portugal had, well, they had 5 also, but a couple of other ones had like 6 for some reason. But anyways, I don't think that's much of a difference, but maybe. But come on, you're playing like some of the weaker teams here that I would think you should have. I mean, Portugal too,
Yeah.
but it seemed more likely that Italy should have gotten out of that group far better than
Both
anybody
of them.
else.
They're
I
both
mean, Portugal too.
They're both in the same predicament. It's just like you're looking at the
But I
realms of how
think-
they got there. So if like the
But you
fact
know
that you're
what?
saying
But
this,
you know- but
it
you
feels
know-
like they're
let me see.
simultaneously the same.
They're
right
kind
now.
of simultaneously the same. The only one I may give I may give them the edge just slightly. But again, it could be anything. Is Italy just because of the fact that they played tougher teams throughout that? Not tougher teams, but like they had to play Belgium and Spain within the qualifying, I guess, span or timeline.
What do you mean in their group?
No, not in the group. They were still doing the Nations League. Remember?
Yeah, that's the same thing with Portugal. Portugal had to play France, Germany, Belgium.
No.
But yeah, the Euro Cup. Like
No,
those games are
They
still in there.
it was after Euros. The Nations League was after Euros. Remember?
Yeah, but
They still had to play them.
Yes, but you're making it
So
sound like
during that
those
time-
games were played, right?
Yeah.
I get you. I have to take in that consideration. Same with Portugal. They played those teams.
No, but they played them in the Euros during the tournament. I'm talking about after the tournament.
Yeah, it's still a quick tournament. It's a semifinal game. Again, but they played Spain, the same Spain that played in the tournament, which they both, I think they tied. I think they lost or they actually got scored on.
They tied 1-1 in penalty, and then they went to penalties.
That's Euros or in the
The
Nations?
Euros. The Nations
I
League,
think
they
actually
lost. They should have straight out lost.
What was the score?
2-1.
Yeah, see, so
But they were really dominant in that game.
Spain right?
was
Yeah,
really
no, I
dominating
know.
in the
That's what
game.
I'm saying. Like, I think Italy has an issue right now of like, as much as they have the longest streak ever,
So okay, I'll say this.
you're borderline between both of them.
I'm bored. The only reason why I'm borderline between both of them because I think Italy is one of those teams where it's like they reached that peak when they won, and now they're just slowly declining.
That hangover championship
and Portugal
it's just
has I want to say like completely up, nor like completely down. I think they've been steady.
yeah,
It's just like to me, it's like what Portugal's showing up in this game.
exactly.
What Portugal's going to show up this game? How they going to
Are you
play?
guys giving us the Portugal that Cristiano has to score 2 goals at the end, or are you gonna give us Portugal that like
He does his part, but everybody else played fucking amazing, and they still
the
win.
vice versa,
you
where
know?
he's not doing great and everyone's just like, you know, like, or but
It's
that's why I'm so nervous, dude. It's like I gotta.
Yeah, I didn't honestly going over this now and looking at it and really kind of like delving into it. It's like.
Right? I
Because again,
I don't give a shit about Italy. Sorry, just don't right now.
I know you don't, but to me, it's like it's Italy's to lose because you have like the easiest team to get to that next round.
Right, the next game.
For Portugal, it's like
Turkey's pretty
good.
Yeah, because they got some players.
They're not a team that's like Macedonia. Oh, you're gonna come in and beat them 3-0. Like they're a team like we're gonna fight you, and you may lose 1-0 at the end. You know, like
no, Turkey has some players.
So if Portugal can step in and really take over that Turkey game in a I want to say in a dominating fashion, but in a commanding fashion where it's like they won 2-0, I would give them the edge to win against if Italy goes through.
Also, now remember these games are in 1 week.
Oh yeah, within a week. Wait.
The same week.
Yeah.
So I think it starts at 22 and the last game's the 25th.
Okay. I think I want to give Portugal a slight edge, not like a comfortable like oh man like how we were kind of already predicting the other ones like oh yeah this one's gonna get it or this one's gonna get it. I think this one is really gonna come down to like just something very little, and just enough. And as I mean, Italy's got a lot to play for. To miss 2 World Cups in a row, that's gonna be bad.
But then again,
and then to come off winning the Euros and then not go to the World Cup, that's even worse.
That's the thing. Like you guys already won Euros. Just stay over there. We won't at least give us Ronaldo to give him one more chance.
I get that. It's just you got to remember. It's like the reputation, the build, everything. Yeah, I get it. So I want to go Portugal. Not like fully 100% confident that they're gonna get it.
An ugly game that you're like, holy shit, they got through
I
it.
feel like they're just gonna get a slight edge, just a very slight edge, just enough to really get over that.
My dream situation, is not even to kill both of them because they're not going to. They're not gonna roll through them.
Yeah.
My dream situation is literally the last. Again, I think the last 10 minutes, Ronaldo does it again. I think that's my dream situation against Italy. 0-0 or 1-1.
There's a lot of time. There's a lot of time won, and there's a lot of build up to it. So it's now more or less the Portuguese players than within themselves, the build up going into that, because you got like half the team at Wolverhampton playing in the Premier League. You got still Ronaldo.
No. You got half of the stars at City.
You got
most of them at Wolf. A few decent ones again at United, and everyone just sprinkled around.
Yeah. So I still think. We'll see. Like I said, I think the slight edge will come for Portugal.
Dude, because if it doesn't go that way, I'm gonna be devastated. I'm just not gonna do soccer for a while. It's like fuck the podcast.
That's gonna be weird.
Fuck soccer. For me, it's just not gonna.
I know for you, but even just as a fan in general, for myself, like it's like that. You just don't see, because when you hear when these guys don't go anymore, it's because they're done. They're tired. They're retiring. They're off the team now. So it's like, okay, if the team didn't make it, who cares? You're not even on the team anymore. Like if Sweden didn't go last year, right? Or the last one?
I think they did.
I don't. Oh no, they did, but they didn't pick Zlatan.
Yeah,
that's right.
Remember, he was.
But if it was just, let's just say he stepped out of the team, he's no longer like considering to be picked, and it's like Sweden didn't go. It's like, no one cares about Sweden. You know, you get what I'm saying? Like it's like you want to see certain teams because you want to see certain players. Yes. So I think with Portugal, even though they've been a consistent team in the sense of being in the World Cup, it's like let's all be honest here. Everybody wants to watch Ronaldo. If Argentina got into the World Cup, but Messi's like, I don't feel like being on the team anymore, nobody's gonna give 2 shits about Argentina, regardless if they go or not.
Besides the Argentinians.
But you get what I'm saying? Like that's kind of just generality how it's looked upon, I guess you could say. And that's where I see it. It's like if Portugal, let's just say Ronaldo wasn't even picked and Portugal was in the World Cup, it's like Portugal against, like, I don't know, Panama for some fucking reason. Or no, Canada, because Canada is most likely going to the World Cup. It's like, do I really want to watch that game?
Yeah.
It's like, I would watch it, but I wouldn't really care for it. But if it's like Cristiano's in there and Portugal against Canada, it's like, ooh, I want to watch it because Alfonso Davis is in there and Cristiano Ronaldo's in there, and they got a couple of better guys. So it's like, ooh, this might be a pretty interesting match to watch. Because like, even though when they played Iran, Portugal, and they tied 3-3. I was like, holy shit, this was an intense game. I was actually excited to watch this.
Yeah, it came up to VAR.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god, what a game!
To the last, yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like that's the joy out of the World Cup is like you don't expect some of these teams to really step in and play the way they play, and to see that, and not or to not have him there in that country there, it's gonna be like, I don't know, because even I'm pretty sure people aside from Italians, did we really miss out on Italy in the World Cup? The last one? Not necessarily. You know what I'm saying, though?
But again, I think...
But you get what I'm saying?
Yes. And there was one last point I wanted to say about Italy. The way I saw it crumble before that last World Cup, why they didn't go.
Yeah.
There was a lot of issues with coaching, staffing, and players, the wrong players being there. And just the way that philosophy that coach had at that time was the reason why I forgot to... We'll look it up in a bit. But the reason why it was just that whole dynamic... And I said, I feel like it's a slight piece of that now because I feel like they accomplished something so much. Like you said, that peak where it's just like slowly going down. Because, like you said, like you looked up the qualifying group that they had. It's like 4-4, you said?
For Italy?
Yeah. 4 wins, 4 ties. They had, I don't think they had a lot.
They didn't lose.
Yeah,
and they had Switzerland, which is probably the hardest one.
And Northern Ireland, the last game was 0-0.
Yeah.
And you're talking about Immobile, like all those... It's like
there's a lot of good athletes on the Italy
right.
team.
So that's what I'm saying. So I think it's one of those, again, I don't want to go in circles, but it's almost simultaneously to Portugal, and it's like who's going to come out in this game. But I think Italy is still the same Italy since the last Spain game. Like they're going slowly down. Like I wouldn't be surprised if they lose because I'm thinking like, okay, I see where the team is going, and as opposed to Portugal, like you said, like they just been still like in that middle part where it's like, what's going on? What Portugal are we getting?
Yeah.
But okay, we're picking Portugal, right?
I'm giving Portugal the slight edge because I didn't realize. I mean, I haven't really. Not that I haven't been fully following, but I've obviously know which teams and whatnot. But just fully seeing some of the games and just snippets here and there, like I didn't think Italy were where they were in terms of the qualifying. It's a different team. In terms of the numbers, I guess you could say, like the wins and losses and ties and all that stuff.
Right. It's a completely different team from the Euro Cup tournament. So. Right. For me, I watched the game, like, I'm like, this is a different team. Well,
the Spain one, I was just like, I was blown away.
Spain just is always going to need a forward. They need an actual. But
I was blown away in the sense of just because no one's really there anymore. Like in the sense of who I've known from Spain in general. There's a lot of younger guys, and there's some guys there that are veteran-esque players that weren't really on the team. There's guys that are there now that couldn't make the team before because of who was ahead of them. So they literally had to wait for them to leave in order for them to get on the team.
But I think this is what we've talked about in soccer in general, and what you say all the time. It's when a coach can coach.
Oh yeah.
And I have, as much as Luis Enrique is a Barca guy, I like the most respect because you look at what he's done since he got there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Look how where he's brought this team from that COVID moment to like now, like.
And he had to stop.
Yeah, and he had his personal thing with his daughter, right?
Yeah.
And it's like the fact that this guy can coach is something real that Spain has. And the Spain culture and their play has fit that system and the way they conduct themselves and whatnot. So I think Spain is slowly creeping up again to being top 5.
Yeah.
After since they qualified, I think they're gonna have a good World Cup. Because after this, it's just friendly games for them.
I think they're gonna take over again in the next. I want to say this next World Cup. I think after this World Cup, I think they're gonna. I think the Spain era is gonna come back again.
And I feel like it's gonna be kind of the same without the center forward.
Yeah.
Without being like who's like Morata about the time he's probably gonna be in the late 30s about that time when they're like legit.
Yeah.
And I don't see anybody being like a Cristiano or like for Spain.
The direction in Spain. The way it's going now, I believe it's going to come back to that point. I wouldn't say it's going to be like, oh, Real Madrid and Barcelona are the Spain team. I just think Spain in general is going to get to that point now. Yeah, because my boy is at Barca now.
Oh yeah, Xavi.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah, should be good.
They played today, so I'm excited to watch. And they're playing a team that
They played
my
today?
other boy is beat. Yeah, they're playing a team that my other boy is beat. So I'm going to see how that goes.
Who?
Playing Villarreal today. Barca's playing Villarreal. And my other boys beat them this past week.
Our other boys?
No, my other boys.
Hold on. Your boys and Cristiano?
No.
Cristiano and your boys.
Cristiano.
Cristiano and your boys beat.
Cristiano does nothing.
What? What the fuck? Jesus. Might as well end that conversation. Go straight to the Champions League because that was the last thing we talked about. And
Well, I mean, we're kind of covered the Euro.
yeah, we picked the team.
whole nations, I guess you could say.
We picked the three that we think we're gonna go.
In that sense, because we didn't even talk about the other side, which is Mexico, USA, and Canada being first place.
We'll get to that one.
We could get to it.
We'll get to that one.
That's
But I
it.
do want. There's a lot to speak on with Manchester coming up and Champions League and the new coach, the old coach, and then we got like it.
Not
There's
much.
just a lot.
It's not a lot. Somewhat.
Come on,
How much time I got?
come on.
I got a couple minutes. Let's see. So, I mean,
We're going to Champions.
if you want, we could just go into the whole Canada thing real quick.
Nah, I don't really care shit about. Nah, I'm kidding.
Well,
let's
it's
get to
not
Canada.
crazy. It's just
No,
they're
no,
in
no.
first.
They're in first. Okay, you know.
Since
what,
we're still on the topic of the nations, at
okay.
least.
Okay. I don't know if you saw the post I made. They have some players in Euro Cup. I mean, in the
Euros?
in the Euros and in
Oh, I think I
Champions
saw it.
League.
They put Mexico, USA, and Canada, and who's playing in the year.
So if you want, all right, let's just talk about it. Canada in first. I see it. Alphonso Davies is a big influence in that. I think when players in their countries like see like, holy shit, we have a legit player. I think it gets to it evolves.
Yeah.
Players start being like, oh, I want to get to his level.
Yeah.
So they probably step up their games and in their own clubs and whatnot. That's what happened with, I think, Portugal. Portugal had a decent amount players before Cristiano, but I don't know if you ever saw the memes or the posts of like, oh, look at the records for Portugal before Cristiano. It was like nothing.
Yeah.
And now after Ronaldo. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
players step up, and we see that with Portugal and the players that they have. I think Canada can get to that point, but at the same time, I had a funny conversation with the lady, this little old lady. She's because I went to like a flea market, and she was making fun. She didn't make fun of me. She's like, "Hey, you can't eat there," and I'm like, "You have a nice accent." And she's like, "Yeah, I guess where I'm from." And like I thought it was like, because she had a European accent.
Yeah.
I was either in my head I was thinking Scottish, England or Ireland. I was thinking the UK, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, Ireland? She's like, no, I'm from Scotland. I was like, oh, all right. So she had a cool conversation. And then I asked her, I was like, oh, what do you think about your football team? I'm they're decent, right? I don't give two shits and stuff like that. And she was like, you mean now back then everyone was from Scotland? Like, if you're from Glasgow, you got to be from Glasgow. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. I was like, half of France is like, some of them from France, but they're from like a refugee place,
Yeah.
which I get and I understand.
Yeah.
So my point here is, how many Canadians are actually Canadians? Because
Canadian.
Alphonso
Yeah.
Davies is not Canadian.
Yeah.
The other guy, I think David, the legit guy, is
Oh, yeah,
coming
yeah.
up. The top goal scorer in League One. Check it out.
Oh, I think
Check it
what
out.
you're talking about.
Ronaldo showed me this.
Yeah.
He has more goals than Neymar, Mbappe, Messi combined in League One right now.
Yeah. Hold on.
And he's from Canada, or he plays for Canada.
Jonathan David. Oh yeah. I see.
Jonathan David.
Hold on.
My point here is, again, I think Canada's taking advantage of the players that are maybe not from Canada. So my point of that story was that I was having from the little old lady was like, yeah, Scotland, half of their players are not from Scotland. Some are from Northern Ireland. But,
Yeah.
we understand why.
Yeah.
You have those players that you look at like, hey, either you play for the homeland country you're born in, which they're not that great, or
Yeah.
you get the chance to play for your citizenship country,
Yeah.
which you can help because it has better resources, right?
Yeah.
So my point here is I think Canada has a good stride to get better because of those type of players.
Yeah.
Because they have Alphonso Davies and the top scorer for Ligue 1, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So that's why I think Canada, in my opinion right now, is those players are doing well because they're not necessarily from Canada, but their citizenship is in Canada. And they're able to play and like basically taking advantage of the situation.
Well, yeah, basically, because I'm looking at some of these guys, I'm like, I mean, I know Canada is part French.
There's like a northeast.
It's partly French, I guess you could say. They've taken the French aspect, I guess.
The French part of Compton.
Basically.
What that you claiming, huh?
Yeah.
French part of
So
Compton.
yeah, I'm looking at some of them like, oh wow, I didn't know you were Canadian.
There you go. See?
I was like, okay, that's not a Canadian name, but all right.
I feel like they realize what USA just got into as well.
Yeah.
I think they just realized, oh shit, we're, like how you said, Jurgen was trying to get all those players. Like,
From
you're half American, come play with us.
Yeah.
So they're realizing like, oh shit, you're half Canadian, dude. The best resource. You're going to the CONCACAF, right?
Yeah.
Like, who do we get to play? Two more teams.
Yeah.
So I think they're figuring it out, and I think they're going to be the dark horse. They could be a dark horse.
I think Canada will be the dark horse.
If they keep this run, they could be a dark horse in the World Cup. And be like a real surprise because they'd be in both teams, right? USA and Mexico.
Yeah, they haven't lost. They haven't lost.
They haven't lost.
They're undefeated.
So
that's crazy.
That's my take on Canada.
Yeah, no. I'm just surprised because I didn't know that until the what game was it?
The last game against Mexico.
I think it was against Mexico. I didn't
was the
realize
last
that game was going to be the game to give the determining factor, not a determining factor, but more or less who can be on top of the table after, I guess you could say, like the first rounds of games or whatever. Yeah. And yeah, I was surprised it was Canada. I was like, Canada, really? And Mexico's having a horrible run right now. And USA's being USA again, where it's like, oh, they're good, and then it's like, really, you tied against Jamaica? And it's like, come on, guys. And there's, well, so and so's up, but it's like, there's so many players on this team. Yeah. It's like, everybody praises the coach. Oh my God, look what they did to Mexico. It's like, all right, he good, great.
It's so
but
funny.
He's got to do that against Jamaica.
It's so funny how like this USA Mexico thing distracted us from
Canada.
Holy shit, Canada! Slipped right. They said, "Fuck you guys, we're gonna be up here." And like
Canada really just pulled a fast one on a lot of people and didn't really.
Did you watch the last game, Mexico Canada? I actually watched most of it.
I watched a little bit of it,
and again,
Canada's doing their thing.
But at the same time, I think they took advantage of the cold weather. Mexico was like, "Fuck, we can't believe this."
Not only that, but I think they also took advantage of the wounds that they got from USA the few days before.
Yeah,
because that's a hard one to kind of come off of. It like you're losing to your rival country. That's massive rivalry throughout history. To lose 3 times in a row and now being basically bashed on by every Mexican critic out there. Yeah. It's like there's a lot of pressure on Mexico right now because I don't think they're secured in the sense because anything can happen.
Right. But
it's not as comfortable as they would like it to be in years past for them to go to the World Cup. So it's not looking good in their eyes right now for at least their nation. For Canada, anything for them was.
I'm gonna have to take back what I said in the last podcast. Between U.S. and Mexico, we know who has their number. We said U.S. right?
Yeah.
But between all three of them, Canada's like, "Fuck you guys, we're running this shit."
Canada's got their numbers.
Canada, that's what I'm saying. Canada literally, now that I look at it, they have their number right now. They're like,
Canada's got their number.
You got to be us to be up here.
Yeah, and it's Canada. I wasn't expecting that from Canada. I knew Canada was decent. Like I felt like Canada was going to go to the World Cup this year because of the guys like Davis and a couple of other guys I've recognized and seen. So like, okay, maybe they're going to go in and do pretty well. Like at least they'll get through. I thought they were going to at least skate by and get like third or get that wild card spot and then they go play like New Zealand and then end up getting in somehow. Yeah. I thought they was going to do something like that. But to take first, I'm like, whoa. I was not expecting that whatsoever.
I did not see that coming.
Did not. What's Drake doing over there, man? What's Drake doing over there, man?
It's funny that you say that. All of a sudden they're winning. He's posting them and shit. I'm like, all right, great. All right, Drake, I know how you are. Drake's over here. Like,
are you going to tell me Drake's going to get... If Canada wins the World Cup, you're going to tell me Drake's going to get touch the World Cup now?
Yeah. That's Drake. Drake's going to be out there like...
Drake's going to be on the sideline massaging the coach?
Fucking Drake.
Are you kidding me?
And Bieber. Bieber's going to come out there.
Oh, God.
These Canadians, I don't know. We're going to be like, all right.
Mike Myers is going to all of a sudden come out.
Mike Myers? Austin Powers?
Yeah. Plays an English guy in a movie, but he's Canadian.
Yeah. He's like, I'm English.
Oh, man.
Damn, fucking Canada.
But yeah, I gotta give him credit, man. That's awesome. I'm actually happy to see it, especially being on this side, because it was always U.S., it was always Mexico, and everybody else was just.
I was gonna say,
at the bottom.
I'm happy to see the competition grow.
I'm glad to see that
in their like confederations, like to see that not just Mexico and USA anymore. Like it makes it it just makes it pretty legit competition now, and it takes on the opportunities for all these players.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now it's not just Mexico and US players. It's like, okay, we got Canada in here now. But again, as I was saying, it's more like what that little old lady said. It was like, most of these players are not literally from Canada, which I understand. She said how it was back then.
Yeah.
But now it's like the rules have changed. You're able to play because sometimes these players won't get the chance to play at a Cameroon or whatever refugees they came from, right? Yeah. Did you see that celebration?
That was like my favorite thing when I saw that goal, and I just see the guy flying from the screen into the snow.
Oh, he scored 2 goals.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, it was. Well, I remember it now. Now looking at the highlight, I remember both the goals. I remember the game. Yeah, Canada was really playing really, really well. Like they looked like a team determined that game. Like, I mean, you could say the weather maybe, but they came into the mindset saying we're winning today.
They were all just watching that second goal. They were all just like
both goals were. I'm blaming keeper on both goals, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah, that was
because he's in the it's in his
box.
It's in his box. He should have came out. And then the first one, he literally pushed it back to the forward.
I feel like Mexico is holding on to their experienced players.
Well, they've always done that.
And they've always done that where back then it would work and help.
Yeah.
Because back then Canada wasn't that good. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like now it's like, holy shit, Canada can play. That I think Mexico needs to reevaluate some of these players and understand like who they really actually need.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the 2 games that Jimenez came back, as much as I love him, I don't think he really did that much.
Yeah.
Neither has Funes Mori in the last 2 games.
Yeah.
And people keep saying, let's try Chicharito. Chicharito is like the Hugo Sanchez of this time because he plays amazing with Mexico.
Yeah.
And that is probably a possibility. Hopefully they look into that to the next round of these games and give Chicharito a chance.
Yeah.
At least give him a chance in 2 games. Because if not, I mean, who can really do these things? As much as Chicharito's experience, I think Chicharito does bring a really good not intense, but like a dynamic impact of his game.
Yeah.
That he's always done well in Mexico. Again, not saying anything about that Funes Mori is just new. He hasn't had that much of a time to really he's had a tournament, but to be up next to Jimenez and Chicha, I think Chicha just needs to be able to get a chance before the World Cup. At least 2 games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To be like, all right, let's see what you can do. If you can really impact these 2 games, pretty sure he would get a spot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Canada, man.
Yeah, Canada's quite something, huh?
Crazy.
Did they score or did they take that back?
No, that was a goal. That was like, chingazos.
Oh, I stopped watching when it was like.
Yeah, I did too. After the second goal.
The second goal, maybe like 10 minutes after, I kind of just stopped watching it. But I didn't know Mexico scored.
Yeah, they scored at the last minute, and I was like, oh, there's no more time.
Oh, no. I remember now. I remember why I stopped watching, but that wasn't it. But yeah, I just remember my dad telling me, he goes, they're about to come back. I was like, really? There's like 2 minutes, maybe the last 10 minutes or 5 minutes. He was like, they're about to come back. I was like, are you serious? He goes, yeah. I was watching it. Yeah, they scored one and they missed like 3 other chances. Like they probably could have put away to tie it. Oh, and I just realized you can't do that.
Do what?
When you score on the opposing team, they almost scored again.
Oh, I didn't see this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what my dad was telling me.
Fuck.
They almost scored like 2 or 3 more times after.
I didn't see this part. Holy shit. That was right in front of you, bro. Oh, he did save it. He saved that.
That was a save.
Wow. Fucking.
What a save.
Holy shit. That would have been the tie.
Dang,
see, but Chicharito scores those awkward goals.
Yeah, he does. He's just right in those situations where he needs to be. Wow. Yeah, I think the only reason why this is happening at the end is the subs the Canadian coach made. Because I'm looking at the subs that he made. they're showing it was guys that shouldn't have come out.
Oh.
And then the thing too with the 2-0 like lead, if the other team gets one, the whole momentum swings.
Dude, yeah, you can just see like all the
It's
5
so
highlights were in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah,
like Mexico had all the chances. Look at-
yeah.
Holy shit. Oh, yeah, I didn't see the end of this. Ooh.
So, but what was I saying?
I kind of forgot what you said.
I kind of forgot what I was saying when everything was happening.
But I mean, they're in first.
Yeah,
Canada's in first. Fucking Canada.
that's crazy.
Canada.
I forgot what I was gonna get to. I literally I just saw those highlights right now. It was like literally the last 5 minutes of the game, and there was like maybe like 4 highlights where they could have scored.
You said you realized what the subs were, and that's what just showed. And wow, so that's something Canada you should not try to do when you're playing bigger teams.
I think they'll
fix it.
They'll fix and they'll learn from that because that could have gone south real quick. So, but yeah, like we just I don't know if you saw the table. It showed Canada first, USA second, Mexico third, and Panama fourth with the same points as Mexico. So they say the top 3 are secure and the fourth one gets a playoff. But in the years past, Mexico ended up doing a fourth place.
Yeah,
game
I remember it was
one time.
but the points are so close.
Oh yeah,
so the next round of these games, because they all played the first round of it,
are
pretty crucial, which is going to be the next couple of months until
because the US has to play Mexico again in Mexico, which is always difficult.
And that can't be a fourth loss.
Yeah,
they're gonna try to.
They're gonna. You can't lose.
They're not gonna say. They're not gonna say their chant until the actual game. Yeah, right. It's like.
Right.
So they're like, we need fans there. They're gonna try to fill up the fun. They're gonna put $10 tickets here. You guys, we need all the Mexicans here.
Yeah, that's gonna be an interesting one.
That's gonna be hostile for sure.
Oh yeah.
Like that has to be the game that they need to like win. But yeah, man, we actually spoke on Canada. Fucking Canada. That's how legit.
That's awesome.
That's how this competition's growing. That's how these players are evolving.
That's what I've always wanted, at least on this side, because I tell people, it's like, well, why don't you root for USA? I'm like because there's real no competition over here. It's like, it's boring. Like, it's just, who are they going against? You know, they're always going to the World Cup. Like, it's always like a lock-in for those two teams to just go without really making any effort. Yeah. But now that this is happening, I'm glad. It's like, it'll intrigue me more to want to watch it. It'll intrigue me more to see who really Canada has. And, you know, Panama is like right underneath Mexico. It's like, when did this happen? You know, like, it's great to see these things. And as a nation, in the sense of a conference, or whatever you want to call it, it's good to have, because you want to be able to compete against teams so that when you go against the Euro teams or the South American teams, you have a chance to really try to go against them and possibly beat them. And it's good to see that it's no longer one, I guess you could say, area of the continent that is dominating the sport, as opposed to now everybody's trying to compete against them and really push against them. Because, I mean, we could say like Brazil dominated for, you know, X amount of years with the 5 World Cups, Germany, you know, and France and a few others. But it's like, now we're starting to see, I want to see more of, how do I put this, more first-time World Cup winners, as opposed to, well, we're going to see Germany win again, or we're going to see Brazil win again. I'm glad that they're the top ones, but it's like, I want to see Mexico, USA, even Canada try to compete in the, you know, quarterfinals or the semis. Like that year, Iceland out of nowhere came, you know, and won a whole world of nation people over just from being in there. And then Russia, same thing. Like the last one, they went really far. Like a couple of teams that went far that weren't expected to go far. It's like, I want to see those things. I don't want to always see the same damn teams over and over. And that's why, and I guess I could get into that. That's why I don't want to see a 2-year World Cup. Because I feel like we'll get that if they do a 2-year World Cup.
I still have to like dissect that.
I'm pretty sure we'll go into it another time. But it's like I just seen. I think I'll just say it real quick. I feel like a 2-year World Cup will be like, you'll see more back-to-back championships won from a country, as opposed to someone different every year.
I'm not disagreeing, but I have to dissect that because I want to know what they think and why they thought this, and like what is it. I want to go in their heads to like try to understand what they're saying. Yeah. But right now I agree with you.
Yeah, that's just a quick thought, but I'm pretty sure I got to look into it also. But I just that's like the first thing that popped into my head when they said, "Oh, let's do every 2 years." I'm like, Well, then you're given the possibility now of that same team winning every single time. Because if we just look back at it real quick, if they did the 2 year during that Spain era, I think Spain would have won 3 World Cups.
Yeah, kind of.
Because they won the Euro, they win the Euro, they won World Cup, and then they won Euro again.
Brazil from old would have had like 8 World Cups.
Exactly. So it's like, do we really want to see that? Like, I don't really want to see that.
But I think, yeah, there's more dynamics. I feel like if I keep talking about it,
yeah, let's just.
So we'll get to that.
We'll get to it because I wanted to get to some of this stuff too.
But yeah, Canada. Yeah, let's keep it moving. What are we? That's that on Canada, Mexico, and CONCACAF.
The Champions League.
Champions League. We we talked about the last game which just happened last Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Yes, Champions League because there's
past
Tuesday and Wednesday because we gotta.
Yeah.
We're gonna tackle Man U and we're gonna tackle City and PSG.
Yeah.
Because I want to just start. Should I start with PSG first?
Or you could just start about, if you want, we're going Champions League because I know the Man U thing, everything changed with the coach and stuff.
Yeah, because Man U. I mean, we can talk about leading on to Chelsea.
Yeah, that's fine.
So let me.
You get your 2 cents in with the.
No, let me speak on it.
Your $1.25 with it, or whatever you want to.
So my opinions and my views on PSG now are a lot different than I first thought. I like PSG. They were good.
Mine
teams.
are the same.
They were good teams. I had high hopes for them. I was actually rooting to see how Messi was going to do with them, and that's even a block of a thing I want to talk about with him.
A block?
Yeah, because like if you think about it, we all wanted to see how this was going to turn out for Messi.
Yeah.
We're like, okay, Messi's new challenge. Messi's the GOAT, blah, blah, blah. He can do it anywhere. He's fucking like 6 Ballon d'Ors, all this shit. And in the past 2 months, he only has 5 goals. And most of them, I think, are in the Champions League. And
probably. Yeah, because he just hit his first one, I think, with League like last week or something.
Yeah, and they're not even doing that great. Or they didn't finish that well in the group stage.
Yeah.
The last game. So they beat City the first round, 2-0. And that's when Messi got his first goal, which was a nice goal. He did great.
Yeah.
I watched most of the game. They looked pretty well when they played, and they were playing at PSG's home. But this second time around, I don't... How do I put this? I'm not convinced anymore. And I think I said this off the podcast like during the week. I'm convinced that, I don't want to say never type deal, that PSG will never win a Champions League title. But I think PSG is looking more like an entertainment team, in my view.
Seems like it.
It's becoming more of an entertainment team of like, okay, we're going to do everything within our possibility because we have all the money in the world because of the owners.
Yeah.
And the way it's looking and the way I see it transitioning or transcending from the final to now, and the holes that I'm plugging in and the managers, like the higher ups and like who they really are and how they are and reading things about them. And it's like, hold on, let me look into this. And luckily I stumbled upon the Prime series that they have on Amazon Prime that I didn't know until like a week ago or a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
And it makes me just realize, okay, like they really shine their shoes for the fans. Like, hey, we're going to put this show on. We're going to get Jordan to collab with the brand. We're going to make this conglomerate type team. Like you said in the past, we're going to buy all the players and da-da-da. And that's literally what they've done. Yeah. With no title to back it up with. Mm-mm. And in the span from that time when it started, from the Qatars, I think that's where they're from, the people that took over. Uh-huh. The teams that have won it from there on out traditionally has been still Barcelona, Madrid, Liverpool, Chelsea who just won the last one. Like those are the teams that have done it the way that I think traditionally has happened still, of building their teams and trying to take over, as opposed to what PSG's done. Yeah. And as I keep plugging these holes and understanding who Leonardo really is, and hearing and seeing and like how like so many people don't like working with this guy. Yeah. That they're saying that he's trying to be some type of dictatorship in this team, which finally like lines up with what happened with Tuchel. Mm-hmm. and what he said on his tweets and why this and why that, and it's making sense. It's adding up.
Yeah.
To now, and when I realized it was with when one of the pundits after the game, they were literally dissecting the game and saying like, who really runs this team, the coach or the players, the stars?
Yeah.
And from the looks of it, since all of this, it's the higher ups and stars are able to do whatever they want. The body language that Pochettino has is getting similar to what I've seen with Tuchel when he was there. It's like, I can't do my full job if these guys up here are saying, no, don't do that, let them do this. And it's like, okay, so I'm hanging by a thread to win these games. I can't get my full potential of how I really want to coach.
Yeah.
Because you have 3 stars, which everybody was on the junk of like saying they're winning it. They're fucking going to steamroll over everybody. And it's been 2.5 months where it's like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah.
You have Neymar that hasn't scored or had an assist in the whole Champions League tournament.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, okay, which is worrisome.
Yep.
And then you have Mbappe. He only really plays when these two don't play, when all 3 of them don't play together.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, Messi, I'm trying to root for you to see something different because that's what I've wanted. And I said that in the past podcast.
Yeah.
Where a lot of these pundits say, dude, you're walking around. And when you do have the ball, you do 1 or 2 amazing things. You fucking Meg Sterling. Okay, great. Cool. I saw that. And you have some nice goals.
Yeah.
But I'm not seeing the Messi that I saw in Barcelona where it's like Messi versus Ronaldo.
Yeah.
To this day where I'm like, I understand why Lampard, like, was it Lampard or one of the English greats that's a coach now said, I'm changing my mind. Ronaldo is literally the GOAT right now.
Oh, I think I just saw it.
Right?
It
It was Lampard? Yeah. He's saying like,
I give him the edge.
I give him the edge of how he's adapting back at his age. And even Messi said it in his interview with someone saying, I'm impressed that Ronaldo has adapted that quick.
Yeah.
And that's the things I've been saying so much. I understand Messi has 6 Ballon d'Ors, which great. 7. Sure, he'll probably get 7. But the thing is, like, let me go to that. Let's say he has 7. Great, cool. But that proves my point this whole time is that Cristiano has been able to adjust so much that he can adapt to any league in Europe at the highest level.
Yeah.
And we've seen that still going on now. I'm looking at Messi right now and it's like, yo, bro, you look like a regular player. You haven't shined to me like I thought you were shining like Cristiano would. Literally, Cristiano came in and said, fuck this, I'm taking over Man United, which I still feel like I feel like one of these days he's going to rip off fucking Maguire's captain band and say, give me that shit because you're not doing a good job.
Should.
He should.
Should.
And they should let him.
Yeah.
In my opinion, since he's fucking been there in the past and done more than Maguire.
Yeah.
He really should. Like, we'll get to the coach. But going to Messi, Messi's body language is like, I shouldn't have left. But I was in a situation that Barcelona fucked up.
Yeah.
It kind of pushed me away why I cried and why this. Like, I get that part.
Yeah.
But I think as a player like Ronaldo, and why I've always said this type of player is longevity. This type of player is going to, I believe he's going to play till he's 41. And at least do it to his last kick, his last header, as 100 as he can, like he says. As opposed to Messi's more, I'm not saying Ronaldo's not emotional, but I think Messi is more of an emotional, sensitive type player where it's like things will get to him and where he's walking around during the field. And he's like, well, why am I going to do this if that guy's doing that? Now I have a team that's supposed to be doing these things.
Yeah.
And now I feel like maybe he's feeling that maybe I'm in my wrong. Maybe I didn't think that this was going to be what I thought. And I feel like it's slow, not slowly, but I feel like it's getting to him. Where he's like, fuck, now they got Xavi and Barca. Shit, I wish I was there. I feel like that now. I feel like he's like, if I was there with Xavi, I would enjoy whatever build they're doing over there as opposed to this team that I have right here. Because the higher-ups. Because they let us do whatever the fuck. Again, the last game against City, they pinpointed, they directly put the camera of them top 3 forwards were literally all in the fucking
corner of the field.
On the corner of the field as the ball's all the way on their side with all the defenders there just defending them like that. And even Henry said it. I've never seen this in my life.
Yeah.
I've never seen that. I've only seen them probably like in Sunday leagues when these fuckers don't want to come back. You know? And I'm just like, who wants to play? You're playing against Man City. You guys were winning 1-0.
Yeah.
You know, and again, to prove to my point is just like, I think as much as you guys want to love Messi, he did a great thing at Argentina, and that's what I wanted for him. If he gets that, cool. I'll be fine with it. A small part of me will be fine with it. Get the Ballon d'Or because you finally got. But if you want to continue, I think to convince me where it's like you can do it somewhere else, like a Cristiano, then I still don't believe that you're the best player in the world as much as you can have 10 Ballon d'Ors. And I said this before. You're just an individual player that was able to do this at a small part in your peak. Because if you're showing me Cristiano can do these things at 37 now, which I haven't seen that yet with any other player in the past.
No.
All the players that we've seen in the past are done by 35, 34.
Most of them,
right? Yeah. Like the Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, Rivaldo, Zidane,
players that were at that caliber.
Right?
Yeah.
Which I'm assuming that's when they were officially like, all right, go play in your first team that you started with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Iron Robin, like, okay, you're going to go play over there.
Yeah.
But like to see Ronaldo still do it convinces me more that he's more legit with as a team player in what he's doing.
Yeah. And
I saw that also for the first time watching the documentary of All or Nothing with Juventus. I don't know if you saw when he came in going the Porto game and how intense he got at halftime.
I haven't gotten that far. Which,
spoiler alert, he was literally blowing up with the team and saying, we're playing like shit. And he kept saying it over. And then Guardado was like, you gotta include yourself too. And he said it. I am. We all are playing like shit. So they had a confrontation over that, right? Mm-hmm. And he's saying, like, if we want to be champions, we got to play together. So he was basically being the type of player that I know he is.
Yeah.
He's going to speak out. As opposed to, I've never seen Messi like that in
as far as we know.
As far as we know from, like, documentaries.
Yeah.
Which what most people say is not like that, which they're always saying that Cristiano's like this and Messi's like that.
Yeah.
So, in my sense, is like, compare that moment against Porto versus City and PSG. Messi's not the captain. So Messi really can't say anything because he's just here. He's considered Messi. So he can't I don't think in his mind is like, I'm not going to say anything because this is how Neymar's team is.
Yeah.
Which sucks. A real true athlete would say something, which I would respect if Messi would. But again, I go to my logic too and possibly agree. It is what it is. 6, 7 Ballon d'Ors. You have more than Cristiano. Great.
Yeah.
Technically, you have more. Okay, I get that.
Yeah.
But as I'm seeing these documentaries and seeing them both, like, from what we hear and see only from Messi, as opposed to actually seeing Cristiano, I'm just like, yo, this guy's a machine.
Yeah.
Like, I don't. You guys can tell me all the magic again. As much as we always go with these two, I don't want to take too long. Seeing Messi at PSG is giving me the feeling of like, dude, you just need to go back. You need to go back because you don't look happy.
Yeah.
And you don't seem like it's gonna get any happier anytime soon.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, the whole PSG project, I feel like it's slowly crumbling. I feel like it's reached this peak, and it's gonna explode if it doesn't go. If they lose the first round, this project was fucking a bust. And it looks like it might be because they're gonna get one of the hard teams. They made it they're in second.
I hope they get Liverpool.
I hope they get us and we fucking beat them. I hope Cristiano's like, you know what? Get your fucking 7th Ballon d'Or. I'm going to fucking keep going in Champions again.
That'd be pretty cool. I would go with that.
I mean,
but no, it was PSG. The whole when it all happened, I already knew this was gonna happen.
I was giving hope. I was giving into it. And now I see it.
I didn't give into it at all. I did. From the moment it happened, and I didn't believe it. Like I couldn't believe it, but I was just like, it's not gonna change anything. I don't think it's gonna get any better because I knew that was gonna happen with those three. I'm like, you're talking about 3 guys that attack that don't want to come and defend. I mean, Messi was already. Everyone's like, well, he did. Like everyone's kind of seeing how he is now, but it's like, wait a minute, he was already like that the last, I would say 3 years at Barca. He was already playing like that. The difference is that he didn't have star-studded guys around him in the sense that would come back and defend. Suarez wasn't really defending, but it was just him and Suarez. But then you get another guy around him that can run up and down. Yeah, of course they're gonna run up and down. So it doesn't really look like, oh, look, they don't defend, or they don't. But in reality, they still were doing what they were supposed to do in terms of their role. I saw it already from I think the year I think when Enrique finally left and then Neymar left. I started noticing Messi wasn't really. The guy would just float around in the sense. He literally didn't even play a position anymore. He would just float around the entire field. And then you'd see him just kind of stuck walking and really wouldn't put that full sprint half the time. And I kind of saw it. It's like, okay, he's going to play, just kind of just be there and just be a floater and just be at the right place at the right time to make plays and whatever. And in a sense, it worked out for him. And then now it's like, Neymar and Mbappe want to do that same thing, and it's like three guys doing that same thing. No, you can't. There's just no way you can do that. And it does. And yeah, the whole thing with Pochettino, he's not getting his full potential there. It's sad because Pochettino is a good coach. Pochettino could do something really, really great if they really let him. Because I remember Pochettino from his time at Southampton, and the reason why I remember him is because they were playing Man U, and Man U was playing really well, but Southampton was really playing them better. And I'm like, well, how the hell is Southampton playing well against Man United? This is a lower end team in the table. And I saw it was Pochettino was the coach, and then throughout the year, Southampton started to get better and better and better. And Southampton was like 5th place at one point. And I'm like, how the hell are these guys fit? And I saw it was Pochettino. And then I think the coming years they were being that steady team in the middle of the table, just being very competitive against the high end teams. And then he ended up at Tottenham, and I mean, you got to give that guy credit for taking that wounded animal into Champions League. He had nobody going into Champions League. Everybody was hurt. I don't know how he got there, but he got there. And I give him massive credit to get there to probably one of the hardest stages in European soccer. It's like, that was impressive to me. And for them to get rid of him the way they did, I'm like,
it's Tottenham.
I get it was Tottenham, but it's like, man, what he was capable of doing with a wounded animal who get to Champions League. Now imagine if you had a full healthy team and actually get players he may want to get. And that's what sucks with some of these clubs and some of these organizations. It's like, these coaches know the players that they want sometimes, and they don't allow them to get them because it's like, well, that's not the image we would like for, the team that who is this guy? He's not going to bring us in tickets. He's not going to bring us in this. He's not going to bring us in. That's why some of these coaches, it sucks because it's like, they do so good with the lower end teams. When you give them the high end team that has the money to spend on those kinds of players that they would probably want, they don't really get the opportunity to really coach them and play them because it's like, I get it. Those high end clubs, they want to win. You have to win. You have to win. You have to win. But somebody said it best about Man United recently. Said everybody has to be very delusional to expect or think that you're going to get the same results that you got with Ferguson. It's not going to happen because it was Ferguson's time. It was Ferguson's mind. Now with whoever you bring in, we have to buy into whatever it is they're bringing in. Like David Moyes is a perfect example. They brought him in at Man U. I think they gave him maybe a year and a quarter of the season, and then they got rid of him. And now he's at Villa or West Ham?
I forgot.
I think it's West Ham. Let me check.
Moyes?
Yeah.
I forgot.
I'm going to check real fast. West Ham, because they're in 4th. That's
the one. Yeah. He's a coach now, right?
So he's at West Ham now.
Yes, and
he's at West Ham. I've known Moyes from his Everton years, and he was always 5th, 6th, 7th with Everton every single year because he could just never get that high end player to really stay there because they just couldn't afford him. The players would play well, and then the bigger team would buy him, and then they would be gone. And they never really gave him that opportunity at United to really rebuild and regrow that group because it's like you're talking about a whole dynamic that's different from Ferguson and whatever. As much as they want to say, oh, well, they're similar, I'm like, I don't think so. There's always different. There's similarities here and there, but there's a big difference in a lot of other things. And to see what he's doing now with West Ham in the past 3 years, I think he's beating the top teams now. He's competing against the top level teams. They're in 4th. They're kind of secure. I don't want to say secure, but they're kind of being really solid in the sense where they're at. So to see like Pochettino, so he had United or he had Everton, United, and then now back to West Ham. And you kind of see it where it's like the real good coaches get the best out of the players that aren't almost nobodies half the time, because they know how to get the best out of them and push them, even if and if you really give them those opportunities to bring in players like that, it's like, would we really be criticizing that coach, criticizing those players because of the badge that they have in front of their chest? Like, would it be any different if it was United and he had those same players and they're in fourth place right now, and it's David Moyes as the coach? It's like, probably not. Everybody would probably be praising him because it's United. But because it's West Ham, no one's really, okay. Yeah, okay. And he's not really getting praised as much, but he should. I think he should. Pochettino is like, yeah, he's at PSG, but yeah, he's got all these guys, but it's like, is Pochettino really coaching the team? And that's what sucks. That's what I hate. And it's like, I feel bad for the guy. Like, I think they were saying already that when everything happened when they got rid of Ole and all that, Pochettino was the first in line to try to get at United. And normally any other coach that gets told, hey, did you hear, United won? Oh, that's news to me. I just heard about it. Now my focus is this team. My focus. Pochettino was rushed like, that'd be nice to go over there.
Well, he said it was one of his dreams.
It wasn't, but it wasn't a deny like any other coach. Every other coach has denied it. Like, I'm pretty sure in the back of most coaches' minds that were considered to go to be the next United coach, a lot of them were, in the moment, are going to be like, no. My focus is this team. This is where I'm at. This is where I'm at. That's all rumor. I know nothing about it. Next question. But with him, it was, I'm pretty sure it's because of what's going on. He's like, yeah, I'd be happy to.
Right.
From
from everything I said about PSG, it makes sense why he would say that.
Yes.
I think.
So that's what I'm saying. It's like, yeah, because I'm pretty sure the guy doesn't get to do his job over there, and he's not enjoying it. And it sucks that he has world class players, and he doesn't really get to fully show what he's capable of doing with these guys, and it's horrible. So like, Newcastle just got bought out by a trillionaire company or whatever, and they're already making rumors that Mbappe's coming over and they're gonna bring in this coach. They brought in some, I don't know.
Well,
I'm just real quick, just kind of going off of that. Like, that's kind of what's been happening. Like, Espiritu Santo happened the same thing. Tremendous job at Wolverhampton. They sent him to Tottenham. Guy got axed in like 12 games.
Well, I have my, like, I guess my theories.
I get it. I understand with some of these clubs, but it's like, I think Chelsea, the owner there, was doing that for the longest time till he finally made that realization of like, I can't do that anymore because it's hurting our club. He was doing that after Mourinho. After they had their year run with Mourinho, then he brought in one coach, fired that one. Then he brought another coach, fired that one. I think they said he went through like 6 coaches in the span of 4 years.
Tottenham.
No, Chelsea.
Chelsea.
There was a time where Chelsea was firing coaches left and right, literally left and right. Yeah. And they went through like 6 coaches in the span of 4 years. That was ridiculous how they did that. And sure enough, I think he finally made that realization to like, let me give some of these guys some time. He did it with Conte. Conte, he gave him 2 years, but then I don't know, they bowed out 1 year. They had a difficult year after he won, and then they got rid of him. And then they brought in, I think, Lampard, and they tried him for like a good year, and it didn't really work out, and they got rid of him, I think, a year and a half. And then they brought in Tuchel, and Tuchel's, I'm hoping they don't do it to him because he's doing really well for not only for himself, but for the group. And he had a tremendous, that 1 year run, obviously, with winning Champions League. Now this is kind of his year to really, he brought in the players, I guess you could say, he wanted. Now this is his year to really show. And hopefully he does well enough to consistently stay there for the next year. Because if I'm looking at the pattern right, if he doesn't do anything this year, he's gone next year.
Who?
Tuchel. In terms of the way Chelsea works.
And that's the thing I was thinking of. This is my theory of, and then maybe I said this before in the last podcast. I think a lot of these new owners, a lot of the new owners in Europe, I feel like they're trying to transition to business first. I think they're looking at the new product of this game and how it's evolving. I feel that the going towards what PSG has built has not resonated, but kind of has given the idea to other clubs like, hey, like we can get these players too and these type of coaches and build something where they steer away from their the roots of their youth. Meaning, what I'm seeing is that the evolving sport of Europe football is becoming something similar to the American sport, on why so many people hated the Super League.
Yeah.
I'm now looking at, as you're speaking on this, and I said what I said, I'm now seeing why they wanted the Super League intensely. Yes, it was because of money, but they wanted to be able to do things. The hires wanted to take control as like, you know what, fuck what we've built in the past, because I don't think a lot of people in this generation care anymore of how tradition has gone. I think the new generation wave of viewers of soccer culture is sprinkled as like, I just want to see our team be legit and be a fucking extravagant team where I'm always getting my buck's worth when I go watch.
Yeah.
As a Newcastle thing. If Newcastle comes in and legit puts so much money into it, it's because the higher-ups built it, not the actual team.
Oh, yeah.
The actual team is going to be like, okay, cool, thank you for being here for 10 years at the youth academy, but we're going to actually go sell you and buy this hot player because we're going to get seats.
Yeah.
Because you didn't contribute to it. Like, I guess I can use somewhat the analogy as college football.
Yeah.
When you have the Heisman Trophy winner always being legit in high school and in college, and he comes into the pros, it's like, all right, you're bringing us all that revenue eyeballs into our team, or yeah, we want you, as opposed to like, we don't care if you're a new guy and we've seen you be legit and you have 2 good games, we're going to sell you to and get Mbappe.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing these type of things and why these coaches come and go from the time Sir Alex Ferguson has been in his position so long to other coaches. It's like every team thinks that they can win the next year now.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like, again, like I respect what Ollie has done, but my opinions on him was he was way too nice, where it affects certain things, where they gave him enough time, but it didn't go that way. As I look back at Pochettino, he is the only one that's taken Tottenham in the last 5-year span to the Champions League.
Mm-hmm.
And then they get this coach and they get this coach. And exactly what Conte said in his last press conference, he literally said, no, Tottenham needs a lot.
Mm-hmm.
They have all the shiny things. They have the new stadium. But he legit was saying the truth. They need more than what I thought.
Yeah.
And for him to say that, it's probably going to be the same thing. If they don't win Europa, he's gone.
Oh, yeah.
But he's going to be right about what he said.
Yeah.
But that's the thing that I think the dynamics of what's kind of fucking up certain cultures of these traditional, like 100+ year clubs is like, I think they think that the viewers and the new generation doesn't give a shit about the tradition of building. That's why Liverpool's are so good, because he built. And even he said it, like you said, Klopp said, no, it's going to take us almost 5 years to get where we want to be.
Yeah.
And for them to hear that, like, okay, they respect the tradition to get there, because they understand the game of this sport is not overnight.
Yeah.
And same with PSG. When Tuchel left, everyone was surprised, like, oh my God, like he just took Chelsea like that. But he was able to understand what he had, the availability and the freedom of actually being the coach.
Yeah.
As opposed to like, hey, we're running this, we're running that. So my whole point here is, I think my theory is that most of these major clubs are trying to find a new pathway of doing soccer differently now. Like, it's rare to finally hear like, hey, this guy's been at the club since he was 12. It's really rare now, I think. Mm-hmm. They don't really mention it like they used to.
Yeah.
You know, with, for a perfect example, Lingard. Like you've said, he should be playing.
Yeah.
I truly believe he should be playing a lot more too. And in the last game he had, his body language said it perfectly. His face, he's like, why am I going in for the last 10 minutes or last 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Like, he should not be that type of player.
No.
And that's what sucks, is that, again, I'm not saying Manchester is trying to be PSG, but I think Manchester has an owner that's similar to that, where he wants to shine. He wants to build this like new realm of soccer, which, again, in some ways, I don't think it works entirely, but in some ways, in their mind, it's bringing them whatever money that they want. And that's what I see transition is like, what is it that you guys really want as owners now? Because you have Deadpool owning a team.
Oh, yeah.
You have, what's his name?
Ryan Reynolds.
And he said, I saw one of his interviews, like, no, we're trying to get to Premier League. And he's like, I believe you have to start from the bottom. I'm like, the fact that this fucker knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Well, you have to start. And I'm sure he has good money to probably get like Norwich.
Yeah.
That is like dead last, I think.
Yeah.
It baffles me where I'm like, yo, like, I don't want this soccer culture to lose his roots of like how it all started.
Yeah.
But it's tough to compete with new technology, new wave of like thinking of things. But I just want to say like these teams like a PSG is just not gonna cut it if you want to win Champions League.
It seems as though a lot of these business-esque clubs that are owned by billionaires, they're trying to go under the model of what Real Madrid did, because that, as much as we can say it or criticize it, I mean, this guy bought everybody, but if we really, really dissect it and look at it, he bought a lot of these players and built that
At the young age.
in the sense at the young age, but he got the players, I guess you could
Because
say.
he did it twice, right? You're talking about he did the first time. The first time he did it was with the Galacticos, with Ronaldo.
Yeah.
So he did it how they do it now. So he tried that.
Yeah.
And it didn't go well, right? He didn't know champions.
Yeah,
really,
because they didn't really get anything. But I just believe it didn't go well. I think because of probably the coaching and the involvement, I guess, in the sense of the game.
Almost
Simultaneously, yeah. But I give him. I guess you could say he could get the credit for when they won the 3 years in a row, is because if we really look at all those teams, those were generally the same teams, the same players throughout the time since Ronaldo started there. Because when Ronaldo started there, remember the first year, what did everybody think? Oh, Ronaldo's there now. We're going to win this. We're going to win. They didn't do anything for like the first 2 years.
Yeah.
They didn't really win much. He didn't really do anything. I don't want to say he didn't really do anything, but it wasn't enough for everyone to think like, like everyone's going off the rails now. Oh, this is a terrible idea. But then little by little started getting this player, then get this way, then get this way. And they started nitpicking players here and there to eventually where it got to that first win of the Champions League, and then win again, and then win again. And they dominated, I guess you could say, in that era, but it was something that was built on, and if maybe like 3 years before that.
Sorry to cut you off. My other point that I was going to throw in there is I understand everything you just said brought back to my point that I was thinking. In that time and frame and era, there wasn't enough, or not enough, there wasn't a lot of TV contracts.
Yeah.
ESPN wasn't showing these games as we're watching one right now.
Yeah.
So think about 10, 15 years ago. The culture there, or the only culture, was watching these teams grow.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying to my point earlier is that, holy shit, we got TV contracts, we got Paramount, we got ESPN Plus. We have to cater and entertain the world as opposed to our own country, which sucks in some way of like saying like, who the fuck are these guys? Why am I going to watch? Like, I literally did this. I was like, when Ronaldo left Juventus, it's like, why do I need to watch Serie A?
Yeah.
And I think most people, like you said, why are we going to watch the World Cup if this guy's not in here?
Yeah.
So to me, it's like, if these teams are evolving with television and the technology, it kind of ruins certain things because, again, we go back to the old days. We go back to the old days where we never watched any of these games.
Yeah.
So they're seeing the evolvement of like, okay, now we have eyeballs in the U.S., which is one of the biggest capital countries in the world. This place. Now we got Qatar coming in, putting in money. How are we going to have to ROI, that return on investment? We got to get this. We got to get that. So they're thinking more of a business now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
As opposed to the culture of like, yo, we can build something, and they're like, no, the owners don't want to wait 10 years.
Yeah.
Some owners don't want to wait 10 years.
Yeah.
New owners, if this Newcastle, a new owner,
Yeah.
waits 10 years, good for him.
Yeah.
But I doubt it. I think he wants to do something within 3 years.
Probably.
You know what I mean? Again, it's more like, it's kind of reminding me, not reminding me, but it's kind of like if they can see the playbook of like somewhat of a new college football coach when he comes in after a disaster, and he has his years to develop. They give him the 4 years. Like the first year, those are not your recruits. Those are not the players you wanted.
Yeah.
You're going off the last guy's team that you have to build. And then you have moving forward of like, okay, I'm going to build my team.
Yeah.
By year 4, that should be the team that you wanted. And then we realize, okay, well, see, you're the coach you are. This is your team. And if you do well, then we expected what we paid for.
Yeah.
But if not, we're going to let you go.
Yeah.
It's the whole, like, again, the peaks and downfalls from USC time, from like the 10 years that they had, Pete Carroll, and then he falls off. And like, I was looking at tickets to go Jackson's game. I'm like, damn, I remember these tickets were like 150 with 200 cheap seats, but it's like $40 to sit front row because the team's not as good and the competitive's not there anymore.
Yeah.
So what does that do? That does, and it's funny because I started looking for the game and I'm like, damn, like when they're good, they play them on ESPN, they play them on Channel 7, they play them on all these top channels because they have the product to show you that.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm thinking of, this dynamic that nowadays in soccer, it's going to that.
It's funny you actually mentioned that because they were just talking about that, about the Thanksgiving. They're like, there's an article that says, why do the Cowboys always play Thanksgiving? Why are they always shown Thanksgiving? And I think there's like something dynamic about that, because it's America's team in the sense where everybody wants to watch that team. And it's like, that's where you get all the views and viewings and this and that. And it's like, that makes sense. If you're going to, they were joking about the game before, which was the Lions and the Bears. Like, nobody wants to watch that game. Like, who's going to watch the Lions against the Bears? Like, nobody wants to watch that one. Everybody wants to watch the Cowboys and so happenly be the Raiders, and then having the year that they have, they just happen to hit, I want to say the jackpot, but they actually got the nail in the coffin on this one because it was an entertaining game. I don't watch football, and I was like, what a game.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw another article. I think a couple days later or yesterday, I read an article saying it was the most viewed game in a long time.
Yeah, I was surprised because, the Raiders obviously has a big fan base. The Cowboys have a tremendous fan base. So it's like...
But think about that. Sorry. Think about that.
But I get what you were saying in that.
Right.
But
think about that and the whole backing of soccer. No one gives a shit about the rookie that they signed or the guy that's been there for 10 years unless they keep watching this game. Mm-hmm. Like, if you're just a neutral fan and you're watching it, this is entertaining because you're watching it. Yeah. But no one's going to give a shit like, oh, you brought him up from the youth academy. They're like, no, we don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Look what you just showed me. I was watching because whoever the fuck was on TV and then, like, they blew my mind. Like, and that's what I think is... It kind of sucks, and I hope they're not drifting too much away from that. I'm glad, again, the Super League didn't happen, but I think that's what they wanted.
That's what talking about this now, I feel like
it feels more like that now, because as you were saying earlier, and I was like, literally, like just here, I don't know what the proper was. Epiphany? Is that what you have? An epiphany?
Yeah. Epiphany.
As you were talking, and I'm watching the game that's in front of us, it's like in my head, I was like, well, why am I going to watch the Spain League, like La Liga of Ronaldo or Messi's not even there anymore? And it's like, well, I don't want to get away from the love of the tradition of actual beauty of soccer. Yeah. And that's what I'm watching. And it's like, okay, I'm like, in some point in my aspects of soccer in times, like, yeah, I want to watch the best players. Yeah. But now as I get into depth and understanding the game more and this and that, I tend to try to watch these type of games that I don't know anybody that's on the team. Yeah. To understand the beauty and how everything is there. And that's what I feel like a true soccer fan could understand, as opposed to a new soccer fan is like, nah, I just want all the best and like this is more entertainment. And then you get those guys that are like, oh, why you watch soccer? It's like 0-0 the whole time and da-da-da. It's like, well, again, you're a fan of this certain type of sport that entertained you. Mm-hmm. Again, you're in depth with it because you're a coach. I'm in depth with it because we played it before and we know. So the whole point I don't want to drift off too much is that I think going off of the coaching is what this conversation was with Pochettino, Ole, and these coaches. I think it's that these higher ups is like taking a different dynamic and realizing like, okay, like if this guy can sit there for 2 seasons and give us 1 Champions League, we did our part. We got our money, we got our revenue, we got this, we got the investment we needed. Yeah. As opposed to Klopp, where it took him a long time. And look at it now. He got 1, but now he's dominating now 2 again. And it's like, okay, we did it in a traditional way. Yeah. You know what I mean? As opposed to like the new wave. And I think that whole Super League 2 again, the president for Real, I think he's just trying to, like he said in all his interviews, he's just trying something new. And like he said, the game is going to evolve, and I think they're just trying to force something drastic as a lot of people don't want. Yeah. Because again, the game alone still, you take away everything. The game alone still, and the players on that pitch is still a beautiful game. Mm-hmm. Even if you watch it for 10 people, 100,000 people. Yeah. Like that game is going to be played by these athletes. Yeah. You know what I mean? And like you said in the past podcast, the beauty is we want the second division to beat Liverpool one day or even this playoff that they have in the Euro Cup. It's like, holy shit, Italy versus Portugal. Like I really like it. It's the game itself is what's going on. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, to that again, the whole coaching thing and these higher ups is just something that's the dynamic is different, and I think they're just battling it. Like, I don't know what's the word. They're battling it in some type of like moral aspect of like, hey, do we keep the tradition? Do we do this and do that? And you see the coaches again for Pochettino. Before I forget this thought, I think Pochettino is going to leave. I think Pochettino could leave. I hope. I hope he leaves in January, and I hope he's the second Tuchel to United and take him far. Which I have a small feeling that is possible. This interim coach is coming. I don't know if we're going to talk too much about him, and I don't know too much about him. But if they just have him in there for a couple of months, cool. If Carrick can. I mean, is this guy coming in right away? Is that how it sounds like a new coach?
They said he's coming in this weekend.
So
if not the following week.
My thing, if United are smart enough, I would contact Pochettino and do anything in their power to get him by January for the Champions League and the end of the second half of the season of the Premier League.
Yeah,
I think he could be a Tuchel if he gets. Well, I mean, he will get the freedom because he understands how it is in the Premier League. I think he loves the Premier League because he's able to coach.
Yeah.
And the way the chances that all he got, why not give it to a Pochettino that I was able to take Tottenham to a Champions League?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I believe if United are really smart enough, if not January, they have to take Pochettino after the season. For sure.
Well, that's apparently the plan, that this interim guy is going to be basically finishing out the year, and then he's supposed to stay on as like a, what do they say? I want to say a business operator, but more of like a management in the sense of kind of like what Leonardo and Pavel Nedved do.
This coach, he's going to be part of the team. He's not just going to be coaching.
Yeah, that he's gonna once the season ends, that
like
they're gonna go after Pochettino if they get
kind
of like a director, basically, of athlete director, or scout director, something like that. Because that's what he does at apparently at the club that he was at in Russia. That's what he does. He's not a coach. He's just the operator that finds the players and does this and stuff like that. Yeah. So that's why they're bringing him in, because he's
they're building.
Yeah. So
I think that's a part that Man U still has in them. If they're still going to build and keep him on for that help, do that.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But we'll see. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Champions League, I think, for the most part, of Manchester and PSG. I mean, I can talk about who I feel the solid teams are
For Champions League?
so far, because it's one game left for everyone.
Oh, we didn't talk about Xavi coming in. Taking over Barca.
That's kind of where I'm going, like with the Champions League. So I didn't want to finish just Champions.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. Yeah, there's one game left, right?
I think so.
Yeah, everyone has
one
a
game
game
for
left.
left,
For Man U, I know they should win, so I think most of the players are going to play because they want to stay in first. I don't know.
They've locked in already.
They're locked in, but I don't know I don't know if it's goal differential, if Villarreal wins their game, or
let me check.
Maybe I looked at it wrong. Because they can lose the game and
they're
the points.
9, 10. They're locked in
the playoff. But not for first spot.
I don't think they're locked in as first spot because the goal difference is 1. So if Villarreal wins,
but we beat Villarreal twice. Does it matter?
Oh yeah, it does matter.
So we beat them twice. So we got first.
Yeah, I think so, because even if Atlanta over here wins and jumps Villarreal 6, they're locked in.
So we're locked.
I think they're locked.
United
they're
locked first.
Yeah,
okay.
United's locked in as first. That's why they put PSG when they said anybody they could match up with. United was one of them. So United's locked in at first. So chances are the last game they're gonna sit everybody.
Okay.
They're gonna sit all their main guys. If maybe Ronaldo plays,
he'll play the first half.
Maybe first half, I don't know. But I feel like they're gonna sit a lot of the guys and play a lot of the guys that probably played the last game.
Yeah.
So all of those guys that got to play the last game will most likely probably play this game. So like Van der Beek will probably start again, and a couple of the guys will probably start, stuff like that. So they're locked in. So we'll go through it from the top group. City, PSG, those two are locked in. Leipzig, Club Brugge are out. The second group, you have Liverpool, Porto, Milan, Atletico. Liverpool's obviously locked in. Porto, Milan, Atletico, it's anybody's game. Porto has 5 points, Milan has 4, and Atletico has 4. So Atletico's in the bottom, but if they win their last game, they could somehow get in. You know, it's crazy. That group's crazy. The next group is Ajax, Sporting, Dortmund, and Besiktas. Dortmund might not make it. They're 3 points behind, and they have to score like a massive amount of goals. So it seems like they're out from the most part. It seems like it. I don't know who they're playing though. Yeah, they're playing Besiktas or something, however you call that Turkish team.
I forget the name. How do I say that name?
But they're playing them. And then Ajax is locked in for first. The next group is Real Madrid, Inter, Sheriff, and Shakhtar. Madrid and Inter, they're in. 6, 7, 8. Yeah, they're in. They're both in. It's just who's going to take the first spot. Inter is at 10, and Madrid is at 12. The next group is Munich, Barca, Benfica, Dinamo. Munich's obviously locked in. Barca's 2 points ahead, but they're playing Munich, I think, as their last game. Yeah, they're playing them as their last game in Munich. So that they gotta 5, 6, 7, 8. I think they have to tie or win. If they tie, it depends how Benfica does against Dinamo. But Barca's obviously going to go look for the win. Then you got United, Villarreal, Atlanta, United, Villarreal, depending on how Atlanta does. They actually playing each other, I think. So for them, they're playing each other. So for them, it's win or lose for both teams in the sense. Then you got Lille, Salzburg, Sevilla. Wow, that's a pretty tight-knit group. 5, 6, actually, that's anybody's game in that one. Lille is at 8 points, Salzburg is at 7, Sevilla is at 6, and Wolfsburg is at 5. If Wolfsburg wins, they could literally end up in first from being in fourth place right now. So that group is like anybody's to take, literally. Then the last one, you got Chelsea, Juve, Zenit, and Malmo. Chelsea demolished Juventus the last game, but they're both tied in points and 12 and 12. They're playing obviously both the last place teams that have no chance of getting through. It's just now, I think, goal difference, which Chelsea should have the upper hand if they win. If they both win their games, Chelsea should have the upper hand in securing first in terms of goal difference. So that's kind of where it's at now.
Oh, my point was to who's solid in my opinion. I think Liverpool,
Yeah.
City, Chelsea, Bayern,
Mm-hmm.
then United. I think United is like right under all of them, in my opinion. Going into the next group.
Yeah, because I'm looking at the groups that have those second place teams that can still make it, and it's quite a few, and they're just like, we'll see what happens. Because I haven't really seen Inter. Inter's been under the radar.
Yeah, same.
They've been under the radar. They haven't been like last year's where they've been like,
well, I mean, everyone left pretty much.
Yeah, everybody, but surprisingly to be there.
Because even what's his name not gaining the chance to play because of his issue.
Yeah. But we'll see, because it seems as though. But again, I don't think it was a strong group. It was Munich. I mean, as much as dominant they look in Champions League, they always tend to look dominant in Champions League. It's more or less when they get into the playoff round and who they match up with is where it gets, okay, maybe.
As much as I don't want to say this, I just think City knows how to dominate. Like, I feel like City's more dominant than last season.
City's been more consistent.
Maybe
they've been a bit more consistent, I'll say that.
I know they lost that game against PSG the first game.
They lost the first game, but it wasn't even like a bad loss.
Right, it's just the second game they just fucking like watching that game and the other game against in Premier League, like they just fucking.
That's why I believe Xavi is going to take Barca back to the promised land.
It's going to take a while, which I in some sense I hope they
don't think it's going to take a while because I'm watching the game now and it looks amazing. They just don't have a forward. They just don't have a forward.
No. It's going to take a while, and I think that's what I said in the beginning or earlier, that I hope that this president understands what the root of why Barcelona became Barcelona.
Yeah.
And I think Xavi is trying to bring that back and letting them know, look, we have to do it the way that the tradition has been done. Like, if you want dynamics of, like, top players, it's going to be tough. But you guys don't have any money to even buy top players.
Yeah.
So we have to do it this way. So I hope, in my sense, I just hope, I like Xavi. I hope he does well in the sense of like him being a coach. And I think I want to give him 3 years. The third year would be the year of like, okay, they're bringing back that rhythm of winning.
Yeah. No, I'm going to give him 2.
Okay. Possible.
Maybe a year, actually, because the only reason why I say that is because there's pieces there that were the pieces that should have been there before he got there. So now he's going to get the best out of those guys. And then he's got guys, obviously, that are veterans that are probably going to be gone in the next year or two. But I know he's got guys below them that could probably replace them really, really well. The only thing I'm looking at and seeing, just from the last couple games, is he's missing that. It seems like he's missing that last element of the attack, which is the forward. But the style and everything, it's looking like the old Barca way. And as much as like people probably didn't like it or thought they could really stop it, it seems like they're having a hard time stopping it again because they kind of forgot about it and thought it kind of died out. But in reality, it hasn't. It's just he just got the guys that can play that.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if they figure out how to get Messi back.
I wouldn't be surprised either. I wouldn't be surprised.
Like he would be a lot more happy to be coached. By Xavi.
Oh yeah, of course. Of course, it's an old teammate, and he knows the game, and he knows the players.
And that's how he used to play.
Yeah.
So
I wouldn't be surprised.
But Xavi, 2 games, and this is the 3rd game so far?
I think this is the 3rd game so far, and he's doing well. I mean, for what he has, and what he has to take over,
that's a coach.
It looks better than what it was. I'm like,
he's a coach, and the stories and stuff that I see from like hidden things that pop up out of nowhere now where I'm reading, I'm like, yeah, he's a coach. Again, I wasn't rooting for the guy when it was Madrid and Barca, but to see that evolve and like what he did in Qatar and like we said,
I was really impressed with Qatar. I was really impressed.
That's going off of what you always said, and I believe that if you are a coach and understand how to coach, you can be able to have these players and coach them and bring their best ability out.
Yeah,
bring the best of them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like. And I think Xavi is that new gem for this generation of soccer of coaches.
Yeah,
like it's always been Pep, Klopp, Tuchel. Like I think Xavi has his starting point of becoming one of the greats, and I hope. I mean, again, I just like seeing it in soccer in general. Like as much as I don't give a shit about Barca because I'm not a Barca fan, but going on forward when all said and done with Messi, Ronaldo, and the best players gone, I'm gonna give the guy the respect until I have my top players at Madrid like Mbappe and go back to the rivalry, which would be cool. Which would be good.
Which seems more likely now than ever because remember I was like, he's never gonna leave. He's never gonna leave unless what I'm hearing now is that if Zidane ends up at PSG and can somehow commit. But be honest with you, with everything you've been telling me, I don't even think Zidane.
No one wants to coach there. I don't think anybody can coach there.
No, well that's what I'm saying. Well, from everything you've been mentioning about PSG. I don't even think Zidane coming in will make a difference because looking back at it now, LeBlanc was a good coach. LeBlanc was a good coach for PSG. And I don't know why they didn't really give this guy much credit or enough time to the point where it's like now he's at Qatar. He's in Qatar and he's doing great things over there now too. I'm hoping someone doesn't overlook that guy because I remember when he was there at PSG, he did pretty well for what he had. And he had like Zlatan, Lavezzi, Cavani. He had like some lower, not want to say lower end guys, but just guys that weren't really like star-studded players. And he competed. They just never could bypass that quarterfinal stage. That was like their curse. Yeah. They could never get past the quarterfinals. And they eventually got rid of him. And they were, I think the year with Tuchel when they finally got past that. But I think, like I said, PSG just. Yeah, I think even bringing Zidane in is not going to be a miracle for them. I don't think so.
If I was Zidane, I'd rather take United over PSG.
Yeah.
And now everyone's like, oh, you don't want to coach Messi. What the fuck? You can't coach them. They won't let you.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you mean coach them? It's like the higher-ups like, no, let them do what the fuck they want. So how am I going to coach them?
Yeah.
It's like, cool, they're all in one team. This is not a fucking all-star team and be like, hey, it's an all-star game today. Like, just do your thing.
Yeah.
No, like, everyone needs to be coachable. And to that, again, going back to Xavi, because I think his time there, I think they're going to let him do his thing. It's going to be longevity. I think it's going to be Barca's Klopp. which I'm pretty sure. I mean, I don't think Xavi has said it publicly yet, but I think he probably just told the manager or the higher ups like it's going to take almost 4 years.
Yeah.
To be back where we were at.
Yeah, because you got like veteran guys on there that are eventually gonna have to age out.
That
and you got to build the guys underneath them in order for them to plug in right away when those guys age out.
And the fact that I saw one of the clips, I have it on YouTube where it shows their practice sessions. Like, yeah, I didn't see Coleman or even the other coach. He was practicing with the youth team. Like he took the time, and that's the thing that I like as a real coach. You understand that your youth in most sports that have a youth program is to build that because the point is to get them prepared to the first team. Yeah. It's like your JVs. It's like your freshman teams. It's like you got to have those to develop for the future. At the same time, if your team is doing great. But my whole thing, I'm fine with Xavi. He's gonna do his thing. But once Mbappe's in Madrid, back to the rivalry.
Unless Newcastle picks him up first.
I think
that was the funniest thing. As soon as the owner they mentioned the whole owner, all these memes came up like Newcastle's lineup next year. It was like Haaland, Mbappe.
I think they had Messi in there.
I think Messi was in there somehow. There's like a bunch of players. I was like, okay.
Like, fuck. I mean, they could do it.
Yeah. But are they? I doubt. Honestly, I don't think that's.
Well, no.
I don't think it's gonna happen.
As much as funny as it sounds impossible, again, I don't. At this point now, I'm convinced. I am convinced in this game, at this level, the All-Star idea will never be what people think it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And seeing finally the increments and dissecting these games from the other pundits from the last PSG game against like. If you're not defending, like you said that before, and I don't know if I said it earlier today, but if you're not defending, then you don't have the first line of defense, right? Like you said. And same how they said about Ronaldo. One of the guys, pundit said, he makes it up in goals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's able to make it up in goals because he's just been able to.
Yeah.
There's games where he can't fully do that, but I know I sent you Ronaldo that he was being able to.
Clip. Oh, he made one sprint to defend. Jeez. And all of a sudden he's the greatest defender ever.
That's what but the thing is, that's more than Messi, Neymar combined. Like, to be able to do at least one of those things, it's more than nothing.
He ran one time down the field. Jeez, I could do that.
but yeah, I mean, these teams and coaches, man, they got to realize, like, I think I'm finally convinced that the super all-star team is not. I mean, going with the world team, the international teams, like Portugal has a bunch of world players, but if you can't coach them right, what's the purpose of having them?
Yeah, no, yeah.
Serbia, fucking Serbia, not one all-star player in there. Yeah. They fucking beat. So that's the thing. Like in this beautiful game, it's like, as much as these owners and higher ups want to push this new product and showing off as an entertainment type business, it's like, you guys got to understand, you're going up against the beautiful game of football.
Yeah.
You're not going up against another company.
Yeah.
You're going up the game that this beautiful thing evolved hundreds of years ago of why we have this.
Yeah.
And trying to change it just to entertain and get dollars, that was offsides.
Yeah.
It's very tough.
Yeah.
But
I don't know, but that 33 kid on Barca is legit. I don't know who he is. Sorry.
I think but no, that's the thing. You just said it. Right? Just as we're watching this Barca live game, it's like we don't know who the fuck that kid was. And that's the beauty. If you want to change that, the Coleman didn't want those things. And look the difference. Look at the difference. You give that kid an opportunity, it's going to shine for your club. And that kid's been there probably for 8 years, as young as he's been.
I think that was a goal.
I don't know. It looked like offsides to me. But they're checking el bar. They're checking el bar.
Because the first...
I didn't see it properly.
The Bay came on to hit it, but when he hit it, he was on, and when it deflected, it was behind. So the guy behind him still onside regardless.
Oh, and the goalie touched it.
So
yeah, it's a goal.
It should be a goal.
Yeah, it should be because the goalie touched it.
Unless Depay was like...
The play is over once the goalie touches it. Once another defender touches it, the play is over. The offside is over, in my opinion, right?
I think so.
Once a defender
It just
On the
depends.
other
No, it depends. I think where the player is at. Honestly.
Oh, okay. I thought it was always. Well, he was behind. He came from behind.
That's what I'm saying. Regardless, but it's just it's going to be
it
now if
should
the
count.
pay. It's going to be now if the pie was offside first.
It should count.
It should.
But again, the whole
Sorry.
point. No, it's fine. The whole point of what we're just talking about, and I hope most viewers, most football fans realize it's like when you see a kid that you just said number 33, you're gonna want to know who that kid is now because he's playing so well, as opposed to like, oh, we put in Neymar, but Neymar doesn't want to defend. But oh, I'm watching him. It's Neymar. He gives me like 2 minutes of amazing. I'm like, but dude, he lost the game. You know.
Well, I think that's kind of why we. How can I put this? I don't think we can criticize Messi and Ronaldo anymore as much because it's like we have to remember when they started and then when they hit their peak and where they're at now. It's like in the sense, it's like, yeah, they don't. I mean, they're older players to the point where it's like they don't really need to be coming back to defend half the time, in some sense. Because if we look at it before when they were like at their peak, these guys were running up and down the field like there was no tomorrow, you know. And we're looking at like we're looking at like Mbappe and Neymar. It's like, well, wait a minute, dude. When Ronaldo and Messi were your age, these guys were running for their lives to win a game, and they were, you know, playing with blood, sweat, and tears on the field. Where it's like, someone touches you, you're already taken out of the game. You don't want to play anymore. And I think that's kind of the thing with a lot of some of these guys. It's like they still have to, in the sense, be brought back down and say, yeah, you're the best player right now, like top player in the world, but you still got to play the game the way it should be or the way we want you to play it, in the sense. Because if we could go back and look at Ronaldo when he was 26, 27. We could look at Messi 26, 27, which is what Neymar and most of these guys are, 28, 30-esque. But if we were to say put Messi, Ronaldo 30 against Neymar and Mbappe 30, because I think Mbappe is what, 23 now, 24?
Mbappe's still 22.
22. If we were to just say Neymar against 30-year-old Mbappe and Messi, there's like no comparison whatsoever. If we put Mbappe against Messi, Ronaldo 22, no comparison whatsoever. Like they would make Mbappe look like any other player.
Again, here's the difference.
But do you get what I mean though?
Yes, but here's the difference again. What we just did in this moment in time. 10, 12 years ago, you would not say number 30 is dope. Why? Because we don't have the chance to watch this.
No, I know
so
that.
Hold on. So my point here is that Ronaldo and Messi were able to do those things because they were able to build all this for these past players to get to this point, to understand like, oh shit, maybe there is another Messi and Ronaldo. So we have, like, again, all these entertainment heads and like business people are like, oh, let's put all this in there so we can see it grow. And if it put all this, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I get what you're saying. I guess I was just comparing more in the sense of just the player and individual in the aspect
Which I
of how
agree.
they play their
Right,
game.
which I agree.
I guess in the sense
But
of how they play their game.
What I'm going towards is I think maybe most of these people in just general life, it's like, if you're giving me Ronaldo right now, which is supposed to be, I guess, Mbappe and Haaland, they're grabbing so much so quick like we do on social media of all this information that we never got
by that much
15 years ago.
Yeah.
So if you're giving Mbappe like this stage of like, you know what? You have 100 million followers. 10, 15 years ago, Messi and Ronaldo didn't do that. Have that because they were so busy and entitled of what there's in front of them.
Yeah.
Now, let's be realistic. Some of this stuff does affect humans.
Yeah.
The comments, the views or whatever, and like this and that and what people say. How literally it affected going into the Euros with Mbappe and Giroud.
Yeah.
It was all this little talk, and it's like, okay, I got to go say something now because it's all over social media.
Yeah.
You go back to like 10, 15 years ago with whoever Messi or Ronaldo were beefing with, which maybe there has been, and we don't know. It wasn't a blow up of an entertainment.
Yeah.
So again, these little things that evolve with the sport in the whole like world of technology and social media, I think it does somewhat affect certain players.
Yeah.
You know, because we don't know. Again, we were watching what's his name? Great point that he said, Michael Che. Oh, we have progress now. Black people are able to talk about that they're depressed.
Yeah.
And he made the joke of like, hey, his two slaves are like, how do you feel today? It's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like no one would know that
Yeah.
until now. Like it makes me think like, yeah, like holy shit, of course they're depressed.
Yeah.
But now that you're showing it and being vulnerable and being out there, it's like we don't know how these players really think. And like going in the past, remember what was that one player that you liked so much in Barca? Borjan Djurkic, or what was his name?
Oh, Borjan Krkic.
Right, he was supposed to be like a big thing, and then he fell off. He
Yeah.
went to the MLS,
Yeah.
and it was all. And it said in some of the articles that he couldn't handle the high pressure of Barcelona.
Yeah.
And that's the things that are being out there now is like kind of taking consideration. Some of these players can't take all this heat.
Yeah.
And now it's more than ever.
Yeah.
And that was one little bit of like, it was almost 10 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Where he was like, oh, we should watch out for this guy, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, just the dynamics of the game changing is a lot different.
yeah.
And I'm just understanding it more and more as I keep watching.
Yeah, because I think now there's been a couple of players that have been getting that racial comments in their Instagrams, and they're posting it and showing it, and it's like, yeah, before that existed, but it existed verbally in the sense of like,
And it just existed microly, very tiny.
It's
like saying it's over there, but we can't see
it's
what's
always
going
been
on.
around. It's always been around. The thing it's that it's gotten its own platform.
Yeah, it's literally.
It's gotten a spotlight on it now. Where before it was like you're going to your car, somebody says something racial to you, and that's it. You're going to your car and you forget about it.
Right,
but then
right.
it's on a
No,
comment that sits there all day, and it's then not only does that comment sit there, somebody takes that comment and puts it on this platform, and then puts it on this platform,
and then it becomes a meme, and then it becomes this.
and it's like instead of just hearing it and seeing it for those 5 seconds as you're going to your car, now you're hearing it and seeing it throughout the entire day, which is like just embedded into your brain, embedded into your mind throughout the entire time. Where it does take a toll, because I'm not saying you want to believe it, but it's like kind of how we said, like you hear it enough, you want to start believing it. You hear it more enough, you want to believe it more and more because people were saying it more and more. Like we just heard that with that comedian. He says that. He goes, "You ever heard something more enough that you actually start believing that it's true?"
Yeah.
That's kind of what's happening. Is that you see something so much enough that it's like, I get it. We forget that they're kids some of the times.
That's right.
18,
That's what I'm saying.
19,
Most
20,
of these players are under 28.
They're still kids, and it's like their mindset isn't mature enough at times to be like, how do I'm gonna ignore it and just keep like. They take it to heart
because that's the generation they're growing into.
Yeah, so it sucks. It does suck that platform is the way it is as it is now. As before, it was never like that. Like I said, you'd hear the banter in the stadium, and that's why some people were like in the stadiums were like, well, I've been bantering like this for 30 some years and blah blah blah. But it's like, well, yeah, but back then this is all where you could say it, and then you're done, you're gone, and we'll never see you again. But now it's like.
Now it's a text.
Yeah,
that can stay there unless it's deleted.
There, yeah, and it constantly stays there. And if it doesn't stay there, somebody else takes it and then goes on with it, and it just snowballs and it keeps growing. So, yeah, that's the one of the ugly sides now of all this is that the social media, I guess you could say, is really, really taking a toll on a lot of things.
That, and like I said, it's that aspect, that the business side aspect of growing a business, and it's just a lot of dynamics that's changing, and I just hope that the beautiful game stays beautiful.
Yeah.
Because that's the reason why we're watching.
Yeah, of course.
To see the skills and the level of play, that just like look at that pass,
I saw that from like
I
a mile
it too.
away.
And there's your guy again, 33, to know to make that run.
Yeah.
And
he's been playing pretty good. Just watching him, he's been playing pretty good.
I mean, that's the thing. So. What, we good?
Yeah, I think we're good. I think we covered
most of it.
We're
going to see how tomorrow goes.
Yeah, Chelsea United.
Chelsea versus Cristiano and United. It's not changing anytime soon, man.
God, leave.
No. You can't cheer if you're shitting on them.
Oh, shut up. I'm more of a United fan than you ever were.
No, you're not. You got to go for Cristiano then.
Okay.
You don't want him there? Go for him.
Bench him. Put Lingard. My boy Lins needs to play. Jay Ling's got to play, man.
He should play this next game.
He should.
Which I doubt. Because Chelsea has some injuries. Pulisic's back. He might start. They had Pulisic at striker the last game he played.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I hope it's a game. I hope they come out with it.
Who's home?
Chelsea.
Oh, it's going to be a tough one then.
Yep.
It's hard to play there.
Yep.
You've been there, so you should know.
It's nice. I didn't watch the game, but it looks cool. It's in London. Pretty legit. It's when they were Adidas. Last year they were Adidas. I was there.
Nice.
But
all right. What's coming up next? Yeah, that game.
So it's just the next.
And
Yeah,
then-
it's just,
and then Champions League's next week,
again
right?
next week
The last
too.
games are next week.
The last games are next week, and then after that, we're going to December, like a few games, and then a break,
Yeah. Well, they don't really break because
or just holiday, like
They're-
a week.
well-
I think it's like honestly, I think it's like 3 or 4 days.
for the Premier League, they take like just the Christmas off and then they play like the next day.
Sure.
I think
No, you're right.
some other majority of them play like the next day. I think they just take honestly like I think there's like half of a week where they don't really play,
You're right.
but majority of them still play. And then we get into the only break I guess you could say is Champions League won't come back until I think February. It's usually February, right?
And the beginning of February.
Yeah, usually February when the neck because they do all the drawings and then
The round of
but
16.
yeah, then they go there. Well, all right, I'm
Yeah.
good. Good,
Always good.
fantastic.
Let's see what else we got besides that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So again, thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe, share, comment, all that jazz. We're now on more platforms. We're on Spotify now too, which is kind of cool.
Cool.
But yeah, we're gonna keep trying our best to continue, hopefully bi-weekly content. But if not, we're gonna try some new content, and hopefully you guys like that. We'll see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes.
But
All
again,
right, man.
we're done. We're out.
All right, man.
Thanks.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it. See you.